Boys, what a palaver that was. Tried to do, hello, welcome to the Sunday service. How are you doing? I tried to do something different. I tried to use a thing called OBS on a Windows PC to help me with the live stream. So I could do something on my mobile, and so I could do other stuff around the edge instead of reading the bloody comments off my mobile here, which is quite tricky to do. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're okay. We're okay. Hi, whatever your name is. So I'm trying now. I still see. I'm stuck. So there's 2 live streams possibly at the moment, right? I'm not sure which one is running. I stopped the other one. So I was using a thing called OBS on a PC, on a laptop here, and it was crap. Quite frankly, why do YouTube, who want me to live stream and love it when I live stream, why do they make it so hard to bloody do it outside of a mobile device? Like, I want to do it on a laptop because looking at your questions on the little screen that's on my mobile is really hard. Anyway, welcome to the live stream. We're back again for another couple of hours. I have my ginger tea. I also have man flu, if anyone's wondering. If you like man flu, drop over. And apologies to the people who seen the other live stream just a minute ago and were looking at it going, what's going on with the live stream, man? It's now working perfectly. So, it's F1 time. It's always F1 time on a Sunday, but the Sunday service is far more important. You can watch F1 with the volume down and listen to the Sunday service. Gotcha! Not really. No, not in Formula 1. It's kind of boring. I don't know what's happening here now. There's live streams happening all over the place now. Now I can see live streams there and over here, over there. They're happening and it's going. And stream status is good. That's good. I love that. I am live again. Right. Okay. So that's all working. Everybody can hear me. Okay. Yeah. Thumbs up if you can hear it. Great. Click the thumbs up. Hi Shane. You see, I do read all your comments. I'm around to everything. Anyway, this is not a race. This is a lovely little run we'll have, a very gentle meander through the world of motoring as per usual. I got a pile of questions, literally tons of questions about the Tesla event the other day that I was at, which is the last video that I put up, I think. Can't remember. You put it out on Friday. I didn't put up a video yesterday because I was wrecked and I was editing a movie with a friend of mine in his place. So I couldn't do a video yesterday. But the Tesla cars, the Model X doors, I see another comment today about the doors won't work in an underground car park. They do work in every situation. So, they work. They just do. Okay, so they won't open as wide as some other doors that open normally, but, they're Falcon doors. They're brilliant. Who doesn't want a Falcon door in the thing? Anyway, if this is your first time at the Sunday service, please feel free to ask any question, make any comment you like. We don't ban people very often, although we do get some people who do flood the channel with words and things. But, nice concise questions are usually good. The best car to buy is not a great question because God knows what I'm going to say on that one. Second-hand cars, I got another question actually. A Model S is my favourite. I would literally buy a Model S tomorrow, jet fuel, if I had €120,000. Bjorn in Norway does amazing Tesla videos. Does he own a Tesla? See, I'm not content with recommending people to go and watch the review of somebody who owns a car. Your natural bias is if you bought the car, you bought it because you like it, which means you're obviously going to be not very critical about the car that you like very much. Okay, so just bear that in mind, that often people who buy the cars are the ones who shouldn't be reviewing it. And also I see a growing trend, a great video about how to stay comfortable in a car. Good man, Dave, yes, that is a very important thing. I see a growing trend in people reviewing cars that are pre-production. This suddenly came about like in the last 12 or 15 months. The problem with that is it's pre-production. How can you review a car that's pre-production? I mean, pre-production means the suspension's not finished, engine tuning's not finished, the exterior might not even be finished. Like, what kind of impression do you get from a car that? A car should be finished when it comes to a reviewer. It should be finished and done. We should be the last stage. Anyway, Paul, it doesn't look like a Mondeo, Paul, for sure. 90% of happy ownership is looking out the window of the car and being very happy to see it there, or seeing yourself in a mirror as you're driving on the road. It doesn't look like a Mondeo. It doesn't drive like anything else I've ever driven. It's not. The problem from Tesla is it's a pile of digital salespeople and people who make apps turned their attention and made a car. And it's only in the later stages of it they actually got some people involved who know anything about driving to help with the car. But they didn't help for very long. They're gone as well. And so you're left with this kind of nearly PlayStation experience, but it's an amazing experience. Really enjoyed it. The Merc S550 is the ultimate all-around car if you had the money. Yeah, I suppose it is. But we can't burn fossil fuels at the rate we're burning them now. It's just not possible to continue. I can see your profile pic, yeah. I can. It's like a sunset or something. Will I review on the new Mark 7 GTI Golf? Yes, I will. I'll actually review GTI Volkswagen Up is on the way. That review is on the way. No, keep that under your hat for a moment. That'll be an interesting one, actually. I'm really looking forward. Volkswagen tended to do very, very, very good small, fast cars. They just gave up over the last while, but they used to do a Lupo, a GTI Lupo, which was a brilliant little car. The thing was like a maniac. What do you think of the tablet and the Tesla feature apart from ludicrous mode? The tablet is fine. It's very Volvo-esque, but it's gigantic. Really is gigantic. I mean, it's a laptop, or it's a complete unit screen that you use on a PC for gaming, just turned vertically. It's really good. Some of the buttons are actually quite small. There's an awful lot of stuff on that screen. That's the problem as well, as you end up getting distracted by it. Ludicrous mode was fun, but just the ordinary one, that was fine. That did fine. The difference between the one that's not ludicrous has a 0 to 60 time of about 3 seconds. It's 2.9 or something. And the one with ludicrous mode goes at 2.8. So there's very little difference between the two. But it's great to hear that the way they use words, ludicrous mode now. It's just kind of over the price. Tesla's great, but a crazy price. Yeah, it is. That's the problem is, it's a luxury car, and we charge a luxury premium price here for it, and then VRT absolutely murders it. Even though it's a fully electric car, it still has to pay tax and all that sort of thing. So it's a fabulous car, but god damn it, it's very expensive. Like, starting at 88 grand for the basic entry level S. What can you get for 88 grand? I mean, you get a fairly serious Audi A6 or an E-Class, or you even head up into A8 territory. You're heading that direction. For the 120 or 130 grand you're going to spend to get the one you actually should be buying, which is the long range P100, or at least the P90. Now I have a little thing on my screen over here that tells me I am currently streaming and how many people are watching, but I can't actually see the questions on that bloody screen. It's really, really hard. A view on watch page, maybe that'll work. I'd like to see your questions on another screen, not that screen. That's the problem at the moment. It's probably going to start giving me audio on this side. You hear over there. Yeah, it is. I can see some of your questions now over there. My God, great to see the Model 3 coming out. Somebody tells me by the time it hits Ireland it'll be circa 50 grand. It's Tesla themselves that have predicted the price of that being 40 grand. So 40 it is at the moment. I'm going to try and hold them to it, but we'll see. Model 3 should be coming soon. Different ranges of the Tesla motors is only currently Model S and Model X. Model 3 is on the way. They're not very good at naming cars. Once the 3 hits here, they'll be into 5-door hatchback territory, which is exactly what they should be going after. That's where it needs to be. Then they'll be competing with Nissan Leaf. I mean, if you think about, you can have a Nissan Leaf today for about 23 grand, 24 grand, brand new. Now the range is nowhere near what you get in a Tesla, but the Tesla range is 500 to 600 kilometers. The Nissan Leaf range is more like 300 kilometers. So there's a big difference between the range, and it's a comfortable distance as well. But if you're predominantly driving around a city, a Nissan Leaf will do you for 25 grand. You pick up a second-hand Nissan Leaf right now for about 16, 15 grand, previous generation ones. bit of design exterior. The Tesla's so boring. Yeah, it is. Well, I don't know if it's boring. It's beautiful from the back. The front isn't as pretty, and the Model X really isn't pretty at all. I don't think. It's all right. I see it functional. It's gorgeous inside. But you can have the Model S in a 7-seat one with 2 seats that face backwards. Kind of cool. Sorry for the cough. I have man flu. If anyone's wondering. Don't forget to click the like button there, guys. Only 46 of you is watching. Only 14 likes. God, all the effort I put into this. Also, you can support this channel. The freedom of this channel, which is the most important part, is the independence. For the ability for me to be able to sit here and just say whatever the hell I want to say about cars, it's brilliant. A lot of people can't, is they have to pay attention to advertisers. So if you want to do that, patreon.com/the next gear. New to the channel, apologies. So no doubt answered the question many times. What do you drive, fella? I have Mice Parsnip. I have answered that question a lot of times. It's a Seat Leon, 2006, 11-year-old car. Never given me a single massive problem. It has some small problems, but never given me any big problems where it's just not going to start them. I mind it myself, and I'm very happy with it. And I'm terrified to change the bloody thing, because if I change it, what do you get then? What do I change that with? Anyway, any insurance tips for a first-time driver, Bob? Getting quoted over $4,000 on a 1.4 Bora with a full license. That is absolutely rip-off Republic again. There isn't really a good answer to this insurance question, because the insurance at the moment is a monopoly in Ireland. A total and utter monopoly. I hear from certain sources that the insurance companies' bosses all meet in a room quite regularly to try and figure out the best price for stuff and to see about price increases, which is why all insurance goes up at once in Ireland. No one goes up kind of competitively. And so what's happening right now is the SIMI should be getting very uptight about this, because car manufacturers should be getting very uptight about this, because why would you buy a car if you can't afford to run the thing? Okay, because that's really what it comes down to. Insurance has always been a hindrance in Ireland, but not until this last couple of years have we seen stories like your own there, Cormac C, where you're over $4,000 on a basic 1.4 car. My first time I ever got insurance on a car was on a 1.3 litre Nissan, and it was £4,200, which was a lot of money. And I was a first-time driver, completely. My mother had no driver's license, so it was just me going on insurance. I had no parent to throw on top of the insurance to try and drive it down. So there's no good advice for you. Play their game. If you can sign up with someone to get you an advanced driving course, there's a mate of mine called Tony Toner. If you look him up, he does advanced drivers courses, which can get you a discount from the insurance company. So try that one. I don't know how much of a discount, but a discount at least. The other one is to play their game, alarms, make sure it's kept on private property, that it's kept in a garage, ring everybody, don't use the internet, do not use those price comparison sites, don't go onto the website of any manufacturer or any insurance company. Phone them up, get a list, sit down, phone them up, get the quote, ring them back, quote them again, ring them back, quote them again till you get the quote you're after. It's the only way you can get it, Cormac, I'm afraid. I don't have any direct connection to any insurance company, so I can't recommend anyone. If you work for a current insurance company, get in touch with me. I'd love to find out what is going on with insurance, and can we help some first-time drivers out there get some policies. Maybe we can do a group policy through me or something, or through the next year. There must be some way to do it. Sorry now, I've fallen behind already. We've only started bloody stream. I'm already falling behind with the questions. I'm not my own computer writer. Pardon me, I really do have man flu at the moment. Would companies like to start making smaller electric cars in city cars, like the Picanto, cheap price for mileage rate? That is exactly what's going to happen very, very soon. There will definitely be a small electric cars coming, like the Ignis, like the Suzuki Swift, like the Kia Picanto. These are all definitely on the way. It's a question of technology, it's a question of rolling out at the right time, it's a question of lack of support within car companies, because the traditional mentality in the car companies is to think combustion engines first. So it's quite difficult, it's quite a slow swap over to them, but they'll get there. They will definitely get there eventually. And that question was from Jim Quinn. Don't forget to click the like button there at the top. Still 47 of you watching, only 30 likes. What's going on? Click the likes! In the words of Jacksepticeye, who's up the road, smash that like button in the face. There's only one supercharger there right now. There's no. Yes, I know. I was at it the other day. Look at the last video I did the other day. That was filmed at that supercharger, which is down the road. Just down the road. There is 2 more superchargers going in. One in Enfield and one somewhere further down south. The point of a supercharger is that's not the only way to charge a Tesla. I could charge the Tesla right here in my house from a 3-pin plug, which would take a very long time. I have a proper charge point put in by the ESB out there as well, which can charge in about 6 or 7 hours. A supercharger is meant to give you a boost to get you on further. It's like the normal fast chargers that you find for normal electric cars. Just Tesla call it a supercharger. It's the only difference. But it's not a special plug or anything. But only Teslas can charge at a supercharger. Ginger tea is working too, I hope. Hi Bib. Great video with a Tesla during the week. It's Bob. I know. A lot of people type Bib or Paul. I get Paul a lot for some reason on the phone. You know, when I pick up the phone and go, hello, Bob speaking. They go, hi Paul. I don't know why. Diesel and petrol are really the only practical way for rural Ireland. All these electric cars are fine, but until they compare with convenience cars, not at the races. That is not true, Nola Grady. I drove 670 something kilometres in Tesla motors the other day. This is not a special motor. You go to a charge point, you plug it in, you go and do whatever you have to do, and then you come back and it's charged. It works. Rural Ireland is the perfect size of a country for this. The only journey in Ireland that electric cars will have trouble with is Cork to Belfast. But then a diesel car will have trouble doing that because it's a long way. Dublin to Cork. But Dublin to Galway, do that in one charge. Therefore, it can be done without a shadow of a doubt. You got to just change your mentality and just stop thinking about range. The great thing I found with the Tesla was the sat nav. When you set the sat nav where you were going, it told you how much charge you'd have left when you got there, and if you turn around and come back, how much charge you have left then. And it says on the screen the whole time. It was very good. I really enjoyed that bit. That took the whole fear out of the journey for me. Carlo, hi man. Can you get a Tesla supercharger installed at home? It's not a matter of charging users at home. Is there? No, you can't get a Tesla supercharger put in at home, but you can get a charger put in at home. Supercharger is not to be used all the time. It's only meant to be used once in a while to give you a boost to get you going. You'd have to put in just a normal charger, but you generally charge these things. So much charge them these days, you just charge them overnight. You don't notice it. You come home, you finish driving, you plug it in, done. Currently paying €1,000 on a 2.5 Mark III Mondeo, 23 and 4 years no claims. Honestly, these days smaller engine cars will be more expensive to insure than some bigger ones. Believe it or not, Aaron, it's not really anything to do with the size of your engine anymore or your risk categories. It's just arbitrarily seem to be firing out numbers. It's a bit like pulling the numbers out of their arse is what they're really doing, and just pointing it at you and going, here, so you might as well go $4,000 and you go $2,000. It just seems to be across the board, everything is rising. They're driving, shopping around, and I really do believe there's a complete monopoly here. They're completely monopolising the country. They know that you can't open an insurance company in this country without having an office here, and they know very few insurers want to come into this country to cause any big competition. So they really have gotten together and they're just upping the cost of insurance across the board. And what they're doing is blaming the compo culture. So they're blaming the idea that we're all, we get into a small rear end ding and we get a whiplash and, oh my God, whiplash, I'm on $25,000. They're blaming that, but it's all bullshit, to be honest with you. All they want to do is make more money. It is my understanding that I heard from a reliable source, I believe the source too, I'm not going to reveal my source, but I do believe there was the source, that the insurance companies were told by the EU, the insurance companies of Ireland, that they didn't have enough capital, which means that in the event of multiple crashes, that they wouldn't have enough money to pay out on those crashes. And so they've raised the price of insurance across the board to get more working capital, which is the thing. But they did it as a group. They've done it all in one shot. Right, sorry, we go back to our questions now. Right name is it Carlo? Okay, Carlo. Let's say it was Carlo down the road. Can you get a supercharger? Did that. So that was for Aaron. Sorry. Yes, you can insure smaller engines cheaper than bigger ones, and sometimes bigger engines are cheaper than smaller ones. I don't think it's something to do with that. It's a kind of car. If it's a smaller engine, you go out and get yourself a rotary engine, be 1.3, but it's actually power of a 2 litre. Should I buy a high mileage 2009 Saab 9.3 diesel 1.8 from Keane? Keane, yes, of course you should. If it's in good condition. learn to understand the difference between good condition and bad condition, and clocked and not clocked, and how well it's been treated. A car is only as good as it's been treated. You could get the best car in the world treated badly, and it's going to break down in a few weeks. That's just the way it is. So it's always going to be a chance, but a Saab is going to be a collector's item. That 9.3 will be a collector's item at some point. So I would. It's not. It'd be nice to get Tesla in Greece. There's no actual point with Greece's whole situation. Not really in Greece. I don't think. Starting at $100 grand for a car, I don't think it's going to work in Greece that well. Max mileage on an 05 Golf 1.4. I think I wanted for my first car. 05 Golf. Okay, so it will be, we'll say, common knowledge that most of the older Volkswagen engines started to burn oil around 100,000 kilometers. Now, mine hasn't, mine is a 1.6 litre petrol engine, so I'm not too sure whether it will or not, but it was generally speaking good thinking at one point to think that a Golf would start burning oil at 100,000. So if it is, check it out. Rural Ireland have houses not got electric yet. No, we do have electric. We have electric all across the country, I guarantee it. How much would you pay for a 2006 VW Golf 1.4 with 220,000 kilometers GT spec? Ignore the spec for a start, off the mark there. 2006 1.4 Golf. Never pay more for spec. Never go, oh look at them alloys, I want to pay an extra €1,000 for alloys. Think if the car had nothing but an engine in it, right? How much you'd pay for it then? Don't buy with your heart, buy with your head. Look at the car and go, that's gorgeous. I like that car, but how much is it going to cost me to service it? How much is it going to cost me to run it? That kind of price goes up. I would, if 2006, you're talking about an 11-year-old car. It's going to be less than $3,000 for sure. $2,000 maybe, €1,500. Not much more than that. Moderator says I can add super chat. I can't add super chat. It's not available in my country. I've seen this already on it's not available in Ireland. God knows why. Google headquarters for the entire EU operation. 8,000 people employed in Dublin, but they can't add super chat to my chats. But anyway, thanks moderator for pointing it out. I know they can donate real money and do all sorts of stuff, but it's not. They just don't allow super chat here for whatever reason. 80k or 120k for Tesla is out of the range of most. I know it is, Noel. I'm only pointing out that Tesla is the wave of the future. It's not the car I'm saying you should all run out and buy. But when the competition has arrived, you'll find the market will flood with electric cars because Tesla will prove the point that there's a market here for electric cars. There's the Volkswagen Golf Electric, which there's a test of it there on my YouTube channel. Nissan Leaf, tested that on their YouTube channel. Renault have the Fluence ZE and the Renault Zoe and the little small motorbike thing which has scared the shite out of me up the road one day. So there's loads of electric cars out there. They're just not being advertised. They're not being pushed in a proper way. Hi Bob, would you choose a 2015 120 brake horsepower 1.5 diesel Ford Focus Titanium or a 2014 Titanium 2-litre diesel Mondeo? Both are good in condition. Which would be most refined? Colin, it would depend on what you really want. The Focus would be the one I'd point out as being the better of the two of those, and probably slightly cheaper to run on shorter journeys. The Mondeo is a bigger thing and will do better on motorways. So it depends which one you want. Refinement will be near as makes no difference, identical in both. Both Fords will be very good as refined driving goes, but I'd probably go for the titanium Ford Focus out of those two, just because it'd be more of a nicer car. If you can get in the Estate, it'd be great. If you get one with a power shift, even better. Bob, what do you think about new Mustang? New Mustang gives me the horn. It's a gorgeous car. I love the Mustang, but only in the 5-litre V8, the 2-litre thing or whatever, that EcoBoost joke. That's just a makey, fakey thing. I don't know. Give me a proper 5-litre V8 and I'd be happy out for the rest of my life. And I don't even care about the crash test on it. Couldn't care less. Because the crash test doesn't mean a diddly squat in an actual crash. New Nissan Leaf due in September. Range supposed to be 200 miles plus. There is actually, Colin, there's one in the country or two in the countries. If you're there's a girl in Nissan gives me cars. I can't remember what her name is. I must get in touch with her and get that longer range Nissan Leaf on test just to see, because I'm quite a fan of electric cars. And I want to see if the Nissan Leaf works. It'd be nice to get 200 miles. 200 miles is about 250, 260 kilometers or so. It'd be nice to get that kind of range out of a Nissan Leaf. It'd be more than enough. Without a doubt, it'd be more than enough. Reminder there for moderator, speak English and click the like button. 55 of you watching now, and there's only 41 likes. Come on, will you? That should be the like button should be gone through the roof now at this stage. Say my name, please. Aidan Dennehy. Dennehy. Last time I did this, Aidan Dennehy, I ended up regretting that in a massive fashion. Looking to get a GTI, but haven't driven it yet. The handling of GTI is the same as a regular Golf. No, it is not the same as regular Golf, because a regular Golf is not the most. No, that's true. A Golf GTI and an ordinary Golf don't have an awful lot to do with each other chassis wise. The setup is different, the suspension is different, brakes are different, engine setup and responsiveness is totally different as well. So there's an awful lot of differences, and enough differences that I would go for a Golf GTI. Not enough that I would go for a Club Sport. I would go for a Golf R, which is gorgeous, but it just eats fuel because it's 4-wheel drive. But it's very, very good. Smithy, Golf R, yeah, very good. I have no problem with the Golf R. I think it's a great car, brilliant car, except for the fuel economy and day-to-day use. You're going to find better day-to-day use out of a GTI Golf standard. Click the like button. Why should I click the like button? Because if you don't, you can just don't. Whatever. Don't care what you do or not. No, you do. When you click the like button, other people get notified that this stream is happening. That's what happens. It's the YouTube thingamajig. And I try my absolute best to deliver the best content that I possibly can for zero budget, right? Because YouTube don't pay worth of fiddlers to me. So, and I'm trying to improve that. And my hit rate is going up. Everything's going up. YouTube's had major problems with its advertisers lately. It's been an absolute bloody nightmare on YouTube for the last few weeks, but I'm still here. I'm still general rated. I never swear. I never get the kids involved. None of that stuff. So it's just a nice little place to have a look at. So come and click the like button. Thanks. I missed a pile of questions. Aidan, stop flooding the channel, man. You're gonna banned. Just ask questions. You don't need to try and be funny. It's not funny. Currently have a 2011 Sport TDCi Focus. It's been brilliant. Great reviews and videos. Thanks, Colin. Don't change a Focus for a Focus. Oh, never change a car you've got for the same car again. I know that may seem really pedantic, but live a little. Get outside the Ford range. If you've had a Ford the last 3 or 4 years, go drive a Volkswagen. Go buy a Toyota. Go buy something else other than a Focus. Ford aren't going to thank me for that one. No one thanks me for that one. You just need to make sure that you're expanding your horizons. Very easy to become a Ford man or a Toyota man or whatever it is. Very easy to get down that route. Change around a little bit. Crossover preference. New Peugeot 3008 or Seat Ateca. Seat Ateca. I tell you, that's a good car. That's a really good car. It's probably the best car Seat has put out in 10 years. And I love the Leon, but that Ateca is just a really, really fine, well put together car. Good value for money, decent range, decent engine lineup as well. Peugeot 3008, it's a French car. I don't know if I can really sit here and say to you French cars are 100% these days. They make great cars. Sometimes they make great cars. Other times Peugeot just frustrate me, particularly when it comes to storage in the cabin, cubby holes, things, bottle places. They just seem to miss those little details that other car companies get so right. So I like Peugeot 3008. It's a very pretty car, very luxurious interior, but Seat Ateca is really good as well. What do you think of the new Ford Focus Estate? We bought titanium last week, had absolutely everything. Keyless sat nav, synced 3 and filled her up yesterday. Got 970 kilometers to empty. Brilliant. That's really good fuel economy. Always measure the size of your fuel tank. Average fuel tank should be 55 litres, which is normal. Some car companies put in a 65 litre tank. It's only 10 litres, but it makes a bloody big difference in mileage. I remember Renault that I had one time went 1,200 and something kilometres, and I couldn't believe it until I rang Renault Ireland and asked about the fuel tank. It was 70 litres. It was an amazingly big fuel tank. So, but It's great. I've no problem with Ford Focus. I've no problem with no really problem with anything in the Ford range. Apart from the Fiesta's a little bit numb looking, as is the Ka, which lost its edge entirely. But it's a really nice car, a really good car. Well done, Evan. Enjoy your Ford Focus. Always great reviews. Well, thanks, Noel. Aiden's flooding the channel there. Aiden, stop flooding the channel. Blah, blah, blah. If money played no role, which car would you own? A Tesla Model S at the moment. BMW 640 diesel, I still like them. Starting to age though, needs a new one. A Volkswagen California is what I would really like to buy. Or a camper van, not necessarily California, just California is really good, but a camper van would be nice. Which is the best estate, the Skoda Octavia or the Astra? Skoda Octavia, definitely, 100%, without a doubt. Skoda Octavia. Buy a blue. There's an electric blue one. I don't know what you actually call it blue, but it's a very pretty blue with 19-inch alloy wheels in estate form with DSG and in a 2-litre diesel, and you'll have all the Skoda Octavia pleasure you'll ever need. What was your first car? It was what was called at the time Datsun Nissan Cherry. It had both names on the back because Nissan was currently buying out Datsun at the time, but they still had some run-out models. So it ended up with Datsun Nissan written on the back of it. It was a Cherry. It was £100, I think. Was it even £90 maybe? And it was a piece of dirt, but I loved it. It was canary yellow. It had a hole in the exhaust and made noise like Thor gargling a hammer. It was an amazing thing. What was funny was it was taxed as a 1.3 and was actually 1.6 litre engine under the bonnet. French cars, lovely, but have electrical reliability issues. Beware. Correct, Brian. But they're not alone. Not just French cars have all these electrical problems. But I've been behind cars quite regularly where you're driving along and it's a French car and he presses the brake and the indicators come on. It's just, it happens. There's nothing you can do about it. It would be great if they started making Picanto cars in electric. Can see it would suit city cars and reduce range anxiety, but it would be great to do a similar at petrol prices. Electric's actually cheaper than petrol by a considerable amount. Picanto would be perfect. The problem is batteries. This is the big problem, right? First of all, most car companies are not equipped to buy in batteries and to have batteries around the place or, store batteries or anything. Secondly, when you put batteries in, I know you don't actually remove the engine, So the engine gets smaller, but it's not gone. It's still there. And you have batteries. So you kind of have to change the configuration of a car. So just because a car is small, think of the size of what's that stupid electric car that they have in England, in London? You can hire it out, little tiny micro thing. It's not worth it. But that's an electric car, and it only really fits one person in it. And you have to choose between lights and wipers to make it work because it's so small, there's only tiny batteries. So the problem is sheer size of a car. Let me some questions. Hi, Elton John. Happy to have you here. How's the singing going? God, if that was really Elton John, it would be so funny. Really would. Servicing cars, main dealer or independent? My instinct would be to say that while you're under warranty, go to a main dealer because then they can never complain while the warranty's on, right? So when you get... The problem is, if you were going to an independent and you were still under warranty, they still have to warranty the car, no matter where you service it. That's not part of the deal. But while you're under warranty, main dealer would be my instinct to say that to you. But generally speaking, once the car reaches a certain age, whatever that may be, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, whatever it may be, then get it serviced wherever's the cheapest because basically they'll use the same parts. Or better still, learn to service it yourself. My own Seat Leon was serviced in main dealers until it reached the end of its warranty. Then I started servicing it and bringing it to independent guys to get it serviced. Guys I trust, but the problem is that's relationships I've built up over years. These aren't guys I walked in and go, Generally, if you look at a place and it looks busy, there's lots of cars waiting to get serviced, that's usually a good indicator because these guys are trustable enough in that a lot of people are going there. So I do love the independent guys. I think they're brilliant. Are you on Snapchat? Yes, I am. Same username, Bob Flavin. Look me up there. You'll find me on Snapchat. I don't snap a lot, but when I do, it's usually kind of comedy stuff. Some things about cars, but usually mostly comedy stuff. Funny things. Cheers, Bob. I had a 2007 Golf TSI 140 brake horsepower for my current Ford Focus. Whilst being a quick car and most expensive car I've bought, door locks, gearbox and cooling system all gave problems. And that was a Golf TSI. Yeah, well, yeah, no, you just get those kind of cars sometimes. I don't really get a lot of complaints about, and no one really comes on the channel that much and says my car is a ball of crap and there was a problem with it. See, reliability has gone right the way up, and issues have gone right the way down because of recalls and because people just won't put up with it anymore. Buy wisely. I just look, buy what you want, buy what makes you happy. But I always recommend to people to get away from the brand that they just had, because when they've had that brand for long enough, you're just buying into the same brand again. So you're putting more money that way, and you're not giving yourself any more choices. Damn, I missed the pilot question there. Hold on. I have man flu, which is why I'm sneezing and coughing and doing stuff. Click that like button. If you like this channel being independent, the way I talk about cars, because you know I don't, I just say whatever I think about cars. I don't really hold back. You can give money on Patreon. Patreon.com/the next gear, which is already invested into new mic system, a little tripod system, a thing for holding in the car as well. So all sorts of things are already being invested on. I'd love to invest more and bring you bigger videos on a grander scale, but it's very hard to do that, because those kind of videos cost money and a lot of time. I mean, a lot of time. Second lovely announcement as well is I've started writing for a local outlet here, which is on the internet. They bring you text reviews as well as video reviews. You'll find it on leashtoday.ie, LAOIS today.ie. They phone me up and they ask me would I do cars reviews for them as well. So I'm doing motoring, a whole motoring section for Leash Today, which will be very, very soon out. I think we're starting next week. Is that next week? It'll be the first review. It'll be next week anyway. I would say I'll take a 1.4 TSI. I haven't driven the 1.4 TSI, but the Ateca I'll have no problem with. I think it's a lovely car. Really, really nice car. In good spec. I also like the Tiguan. They're related, by the way. The VW E-Up is a nice example. The E-Up. That's a good example of an electric car, small electric car, where it should be. Sorry, I have to cough again. Now, sometimes it zooms by there of the questions. Am I on Snapchat? Answer that one. Yeah, Bob Flavin on Snapchat. No, I'm undecided. Petrol, diesel, A-Tech at the moment. Diesel under the cosh. Yeah, diesel is not gone. Don't worry, diesel's not gone yet. Sir Flavin, what about the new Fiat 124 Spider? I would like to buy it in red. What's your opinion, please? There is a review of the Fiat 124 Spider on my channel. It is a fabulous car. It is based on the Mazda MX-5, but they've swapped out the engine. They've adjusted the suspension and changed the steering setup. Basically, everything else is the same. When you sit in the car, it is 100% Mazda MX-5 sitting in front of you, except for it has Fiat badges. But the changes have made it, I think, a little bit more usable car, because the engine size is 1.4 rather than 1.8. So it's a little bit more usable, a little bit more of a GT feel about it. Long drives are gorgeous in a Mazda MX-5. Buy a cloth top. Don't buy an electric top to it at all. Forget about it. Just buy the cloth top one. If you like the Spider if you like the look of the Spider more than you like the look of Mazda MX-5, buy the Spider. Plus, it's a Fiat, and it's an Italian, and it's called Spider. This is all good stuff, like. Bottas just won. Who's Bottas? That Formula 1. What's your views on a 67 Camaro? A 67 Camaro? Anything that starts with Camaro is always good for a start. I like Americana. I have no problem with them, but they are bloody expensive to run. You will be driving from petrol station to petrol station without a shadow of a doubt. But if you need to fix something, they're really easy to fix. So they can be cheap in that way around. Aidan Dennehy, I have answered your question already. A Datsun Nissan Cherry. Now, listen to the answers when you ask the question. Okay? Good lad. Officially, wine... Oh, that just flew by again. Sometimes I click it twice and it goes away. Any known issues with VW Skoda DSG gearboxes? Going back a while, Brendan, yes. I believe there was a couple of dodgy Volkswagen gearboxes, DSG style. As far as I know, they were all recalled and fixed. You should be able to find out if you're going to buy one. You can ring the dealership with the VIN number and ask to make sure that the recall has been done on the car. These are pretty straightforward things to do. Any dealer will tell you that. If the recall has not been done, it can be done immediately for you. So recalls are always free. You should never have to pay a penny for a recall. You may get a message from the dealership saying, that recall, it went well, that's brilliant, but there's something wrong. Something else wrong, nothing to do with the recall. But, that's par for the course. It happens with cars. But as for known issues, there'll be a lot of supposition on the internet, but nothing concrete. Ever sold that in a done deal? Have I ever sold in a done deal? I've sold that in adverts. I've sold things. I don't really sell cars that much. So yeah, from time to time you'd sell things in done deals. Getting a bit expensive done deal, actually, in fairness to it. 60. You drive a 67 Camaro. Well done. Is the VW Amarok pickup comfortable for daily drives? It is. Not the back seat isn't though, but yeah, the front seats are, without a doubt. They're just straight out of a van, so they'll be lovely. But the back seats would be very vertical, so there's very straight up back on them. My kids didn't complain about it, but I think an adult in the back of a Volkswagen Amarok wouldn't be exactly most comfortable. But they're not designed for it. They are crew cab. They're meant as a working vehicle. They're a commercial vehicle. So they're not meant to be like that. Click that like button up there. Go on, go for it. Like there on my screen. I don't know where it is on yours. Thank you, sir. After the live, I go to see your video about it. Sorry for that. So little time. No problem. I can only read some of that there. Paul. Thoughts on move to larger alloys and modern cars? Is there fuel efficiency gain? Look great, but hurt comfort and road noise. There is nothing. There is no gain, actually, Paul. So what happens is the bigger wheel looks nicer in the wheel arch. This is what everybody does. So it looks lovely in a wheel arch. It looks more like, kind of a weird looking concept design thing. And that was the move. That's why the wheels got a bit bigger. It does improve the contact area on the ground, which gives you a little bit more grip, and you put in different kinds of tires, but it always makes fuel economy suffer. So you have to trade off between how much grip you want versus how much fuel economy you want. There's always going to be a trade off for that. And it does not help with road noise. Certain tires can help with road noise, but don't forget to hit the like button. Everything working very smoothly on the video front today, Father Bob. No freezes. Yeah, I noticed that as well. No freezes today, and I've changed nothing. I did try to start the live stream using a laptop, using a thing called OBS, which I was told, and another fella, a really nice YouTuber, explained to me exactly how to set it up. And it seemed to work, but I wasn't getting the audio. Then it started to freeze again. So I had to stop that, and I went back to my traditional one, which is just using my mobile device. YouTube, for God's sake, will you create a proper help video on how to create a live stream from your desktop? It seems so stupid that I have to use a laptop here to see the text, and I have to use a phone to broadcast. It seems ridiculous. Do any other car manufacturers the Magic Seats like Honda? No, they don't. And even Honda's got rid of them out of the new Honda Civic, which I'm picking up next week. I'm reviewing the new Honda Civic 1.5 petrol next week, from Tuesday. It's a bank holiday Monday here in Ireland. Tomorrow's a bank holiday. Congratulations, everybody. You can have the day off work, apart from people who work in shops. But everybody else can have the day off. But on Tuesday, I'm picking up the Honda Civic, and then I have to go to England next week for the new Suzuki Swift. So I'm flipping over as far as Manchester somewhere, I think, next week, for a spin in the Suzuki Swift. So I'll be over. Anyone from the UK, I'll be over in your country next week. If you come and meet me somewhere. I don't know where I'm going. I'm going to Manchester Airport, I think, and somebody there will pick me up and bring me somewhere else. Which car manufacturer would you consider to do the best automatic gearbox at the moment? Best automatic gearbox at the moment would be very, very tight squeeze between the Ford PowerShift model and the Volkswagen DSG model. Auto boxes are a funny one. Very few car manufacturers actually do an auto box. A traditional style, so they prefer to do manuals, because manuals are cheaper and lighter by a long way, and less trouble as well when they go wrong. Because a manual box, you lose fifth gear in a manual box, you can still go from fourth to sixth, or just stay in fourth. Auto boxes tend to be, when you lose a gear, you just lost the whole box. It just doesn't work. Sorry. I'm still coughing here. What cars you had test this week? I only had the Suzuki SX4 this week. I just didn't have time to go and get another car because I was doing a Tesla thing as well in one day, so I did the Tesla video in the middle of it. So it's only been Suzuki SS4, a car that has a brilliant engine in the 1 litre super booster jet thing that's in it, boost jet, and the infotainment system is very good. The rest of the car is completely vanilla, and I wouldn't get away from the SS4. But buy an Ignis. Ignis is good. I prefer that much more. That was for Stephen, by the way. Hi Bob, great channel. Thanks, Richard. You're very nice. Colin Foley, what's your thoughts on the new Opel Astra? Better than a Focus or a Golf? No, it ain't. It's very pretty looking, but it's not better than a Focus or a Golf. Focus and Golf would be neck and neck in my head if you're looking for anything that style, 5-door hatchback thing. The Astra's nice, but it can't seem to focus on one thing. You know, it's like, we have a new Opel Astra and it's got Wi-Fi. Well, who cares? Wi-Fi. I don't care if it's got Wi-Fi. I have an unlimited data plan on my phone. I don't need Wi-Fi. I'm fine. It just has to make a lot of sense. It seems to be concentrating on all the wrong things. Opel need to concentrate more on generating a user base that isn't young, that's more mature. The people who are buying Ford Focus, the people who are buying Hyundai iX35 or Tucson or whatever it's called, they need to concentrate on that and less on this idea of the OnStar. You know, the OnStar woman off television. It's such a crap ad. God, the editing in that ad is dreadful. So no, stick for a Focus, or I'd go a Golf. And then I might buy a Focus ST as well. What's the best small SUV? If I had the answer to that question, I could probably sell the answer. There's so many SUVs on the market at the moment. It's an impossible one to question and answer. So Dave, check out at the moment to say it, Ateca is the one that's stuck in my mind as being a very, very good SUV. But then I like the Sportage, I like the Tucson. You know, there's something about each one that I like as well. Then the Kodiaq is on the way, which is not a small SUV. That's quite a big lump of thing, but it's still a decent car. There's so many choices out there right now. Pick the one you like the best and go with that one. Is diesel on the way to high tax? No, diesel's on the way to extinction. Just because there's too much CO2, too much NOx, too much emissions. They can't get the emissions down any lower. There's too many diesel cars on the road. 96% of what's on the road in Ireland at the moment is diesel. 96%. And then everything else is a mix of petrol and hybrid and electric. We got to get that number down. It's ridiculous. Look at moderator's not stupid. Leave my channel if you don't like it. Moderator makes the rules. Okay, so don't type in caps. That's all you're asked to do is turn off the bloody caps lock. It's not hard. You press the button on the keyboard. If you can't do that, find another channel to go and bother some people on. Otherwise, we're just here for the crack, right? Right, where are we? ZF 8-speed is the best. ZF, is that the one that comes out of BMW? 8-speed. Yeah, well, and that sounds like an expensive automatic gearbox. Bob, I've a 1988 MR2 Mark 1. Needs about $2,000 to make it really nice. Probably not worth it. Is it? An MR2 Mark 1. It's a tough one. That's a little 2-seat car. $2,000 to make it good. How good? Like, how much use are you going to get $2,000 worth of fun out of that car? The people I know from classic car circles get as much fun out of fixing the car as they do driving the car. The car is never finished. It's the repair part of it that makes it the fun bit. So if you've $2,000 to put into that car and a bit of time and a socket set, go at it. Don't. I wouldn't get somebody else to do it. I do it myself. But that's the fun for me, is to get out there and get the fingers dirty and, you know, the rubber gloves and the smell of oil and all that. That's the big fun part for me. So I would spend the $2,000 to make that right, yeah. I'm going to America on Wednesday. What type of cars do you think I'll see? Muscle cars, but Texas. In Texas, you will see Ford F-150s everywhere. They will drive you over. They will drive up in the footpath beside you. They are gigantic diesel and petrol guzzling monsters over there. They sound fabulous, but it's a good bit of crack. Texas people are lovely people. Really, really, really pleasant people. And then on the far side of that, there's also the kind of hillbilly types as well, which you'll recognise in the wife beater shirts with their baseball caps on backwards and guns in the back of their car. Expect guns as well, a lot of guns. That was for Keane, who's going to Texas. Anyone from Texas? Keane is coming over there. You can give him a nice thank you there. Head to Austin. I quite like Austin, Texas. Quite a nice place. Very modern place actually. Nobody walks anywhere, by the way. Just thought if you're in Austin, Texas, there's a lovely bar there. I can't remember the name of it now. It's an Irish bar though. Really nice. Do good burgers. Bob, did you ever do a review of a Jag XE? Yes. I think there's one on my channel somewhere. There is. Alan, somewhere. If not, come back and ask me again. I'll tell you what I think of a Jaguar XE. Is that the cheapy Jaguar? I don't mean cheap, but I mean, is that the more affordable Jaguar? You see, Adriana, you're being a dick and you get banned. So you're banned. Goodbye. Toodle pips. Piles of questions, but this thing just suddenly jumps ahead. I love the way it does that. Just, I'm in the middle of reading something and it's gone. Okay, hi Bob, we're new to the channel. Good lads, Kumi Brothers. Is it Kumi Brothers? Congratulations. Click the like button. Kumi Brothers, number one thing. Second thing, click the subscribe button. Most important is click the subscribe button, right? Whatever else you do, if you don't go near the Patreon channel, if you don't go near anything like that, just click subscribe. And that's it. That's all you have to do. Now, you see that person there? Can I ban that person there? Just for fun, right? There you go. I like doing that. There's great power in that banning thing. I really don't like that. But yeah. Hi, what do you prefer, the Kodiaq or the Ford Edge? Kodiaq. The looks of the Ford Edge, though. I like the looks of the Ford Edge, but the Kodiaq to drive. The Ford Edge left me a little bit numb. Ford are very good at saloon cars, like the Focus and the Mondeo and the Ka even, and those kind of cars. They're really good at that car. They've never really been good at a European SUV. I've only had a massive desire for a Ford F-150 or something, one of the massive trucks they do in the US, but the ones that bring on here are always sort of compromised somehow. I'm not too sure how to do that, but I would go with the Kodiaq in that one. Would the Ford Galaxy have the biggest third row for normal car, not van? It would be a very tight job. That's from Ivo. Very tight job between the Ford Galaxy, Seat Alhambra, Volkswagen Charan, which they got rid of the Charan, did they? They would be the only ones that would have three proper seats across the middle row where you could put three individual human-sized people, not little tiny kids. The last row of seats is to be the compromise one. As always, you have to go to van size to get it bigger. The Caddy Life would be the best 7-seat car around, but it's actually a van, it's a Caddy. But yeah, you'd be pretty close. The Galaxy, Seat Alhambra, Volkswagen Charan, the Peugeot 5008 would be pretty good as well. There are your kind of options in that range. Alright, I got that. Have you seen the new Ford, Bob? Go again. Wibbly Wobbly Wonder. I remember there was an ice cream called a Wibbly Wobbly Wonder. He said, bit of crack. You're right, a bit of crack. Well done. We're all here for a bit of crack. Cheers, Bob. Let's tell Opel that Wi-Fi has been about for 6 years. Yeah, I remember driving an Audi A3. God almighty, I don't know how long ago. And it had 3G Wi-Fi. And I was driving across Germany, tweeting. I wasn't driving. I can't remember. Was it Dave Humphreys or Paul Healy or someone was driving beside me? I don't remember who was driving. But whoever was driving, I was doing tweeting anyway. I think it was Dave Humphreys because we're racing to try and get a ship. We're trying to get onto a ship. Hyundai i20 or new C3, which would you say is better of the two? Also considered a new Swift. I haven't driven the Swift, David. Hyundai i20 is a very, very nice car. Citroen C3 is a glorious thing to look at. Just gorgeous. I mean, the styling is amazing. It probably drives a little better than the i20, but the i20 has a 5-year warranty. Let's not snub around here, right? The i20 has an unlimited mileage, 5-year warranty. That is a big selling point for me now, straight off the mark. But that said, the Citroen C3 is probably the better of the two cars to drive and own and look at. But still a French car, and you still have a very short warranty. I think it might only be 2 years on a Citroen, or maybe it's 3. What's your view on big cars with small petrol engines? I'm driving one. I have a Suzuki SX4, whatever the hell that car is up there, but a 1-litre petrol engine. It's brilliant. Not a bother. I wouldn't buy a Mondeo, EcoBoost Mondeo now. That's a big car for a 1-litre petrol engine. Qashqai, you might get away with it. With the 1.2, you might, yeah. There's a lot of cars coming with smaller engines now. You get more horsepower because they're putting superchargers or turbochargers or a combination of superchargers and turbochargers into the car trying to make them work. And they are pretty good. Fuel economy in the Suzuki seems brilliant. Honest to God, I've done 700 kilometres and I still have a quarter of a tank left at least. So it's fine. It's all okay so far. Longevity wise, I don't know how long these tiny petrol engines will work. Don't forget to click the like button. I keep getting reminded to say that. Click the like button. What was your first car? That's a Nissan Cherry. That was from Bondiana. Don, Don, I missed her. I clicked it too many times and it goes zooming down then. Or come back, get back here in a minute. Still going up. Coming out. No, we've read that question before. That's good. Right, we're nearly there then. Right, Don Salter, there he is. On the last live chat, I asked if your family gave their opinions on test car and would you take notice or not. This question was aimed at you personally, thanks. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do take in everybody's opinion, particularly the kids. Kids have more experience, obviously, in the back seats of the cars than I would, as they travel there most of the time. And they'd be very, very quick to point out things. Like something I didn't notice in the back seat of some new Fords. Ford have invented this airbag seatbelt, right? And I don't mean that's not funny, right? I mean it's an actual airbag built into the seatbelt, which sounds like a really good thing for a safety equipment thing, but they're really hard to put on for a child. Really heavy thing and hard to wrap around, and they don't scroll away very quickly. So I wouldn't have never noticed that other than my daughter pointed it out. So my daughter would know more about cars than probably most of us would at this stage. She can reel off the name of every car. She has grown up forever changing cars. The two of them have. Always a new car. They wonder why their friends' mothers and fathers don't change their cars every week as well. So there's an element of that as well. But yeah, their opinion will matter to me from a passenger point of view. My wife's opinion would be very same. She'd be very quick to point out that something doesn't fit, and where the seat is, how high she feels on the car, the point she sit at, whether she likes it even, just whether she go, oh yeah, I like this car. So there's always that influence in from the family point, as to what I think of a car, what they think of a car, and there's always that input coming in from every side. That came from Don. Thanks, Don. Good question. On the other day, I came across the aftermath of a car that chased. The car they were chasing crashed into 3 other cars. Would the insurance bureau look after these people, or would they be on their own? That would be a question for the courts. It would be down to responsibility, so you would have to have who was responsible for what part of the crash. So take away the guard thing, take away everything else. If you're in a crash and someone in the crash isn't insured, there's a problem. That's where the insurance bureau comes in. It can take a long time to get paid from those guys. Say if you're in a rear-ending collision, you rear-end somebody and you hit them into somebody else, then all the insurance companies pay each other. That's all that happens. They all pay out themselves. But generally speaking, the insurance bureau, after court cases and after the insurance companies, generally insurance companies will do what they tell you to do. They'll say, you should just pay out on that, just pay out, have done with it. But you can't stop them. They're your insurance company. You pay insurance so you can get advice out them. Oops. Hit the wrong button there. Favourite rally cars from the past, Bob? Ford Escort Cosworth for me. The one that sticks in my mind is the Audi Quattro. It's the Audi, it sticks out because it was something I grew up watching, and there was a woman driving it. Michelle Mouton was the woman's name, and she was an amazing driver. She went on to win all sorts of rally championships before they killed it off. They had to kill it because it was an arms race. These cars were like 800, 900 horsepower. They were crazy things. But Michelle Mouton won it. It stuck out in my mind was the original Audi 100 or Audi Quattro or whatever you want to call it. An amazing looking car, but it's just, I always remember the helicopter shots of the helicopter flying along. It was flying along this snowy road and his car's booting through. Besides that, Subaru and Pretz, of course, from Colin McRae's time. Stands out in my mind as well because I watched Colin McRae make that car dance like no other driver. He could make a car dance across the road. It was incredible driving ability. What do you think of the Grand Tour? Do you watch it? Yes, I was just catching up. I'm just finishing off the Grand Tour, actually. It's terrible. I watched the first couple of episodes. The one that sticks out in my mind as being really, really good is when I went to Namibia. It was over 2 episodes and it drove all the way up along the kind of spine of Namibia. And it was them properly having fun and properly laughing and joking and doing stupid things. The stupidest, worst ones were the ones where they were stuck in the studio and doing things like blowing up Hammond in a camper van or prepper's van or something. I saw it the other night and it was so contrived and terribly, terribly difficult to watch. Seriously, if you've anything to do with the Grand Tour, you operate or you're a producer on it or you're a director of it or whatever it is, will you get in touch with me? For God's sake, screen this stuff before you put it out. It's crap and you're not helping yourself. But then Top Gear does the same thing as well, and they never talk to me either, and they're still in trouble. Brian Cullen, great Sunday service as ever, Father. When is the Holy Communion bit? Holy Communion bit is whenever the ad break happens in the middle of it, or whenever I run out of steam because I have man flu and I'm completely poisonous. It must be Ebola or something, surely. Look, ask questions. You want to ask questions, no problem with anyone's comments here as it is. Keep it fun though. Keep it, ask your questions is fine. Like Cindy Rose there. Hello, Jesus. Love you. Great. I have nothing at all to do with religion. Sunday service because I do cars. You service a car, so Sunday service. It just happens to be on a Sunday. How ya? Says King Car. How ya? It's a real Irish thing. What's your favourite car, Bob? Whatever car is outside the door really at the time. Unless I hate it, like the Suzuki. Bob, do you have any info on making a driver's seat more comfortable after market replacements, etc.? Depends on what driver's seat. There used to be good little. There was a backboard thing. If you remember those kind of, there was a wooden bobbly thing. I don't know how to explain this. It was like a little pattern thing, and you hung it over the back of a car, and it sat behind your back and under your bum. There's a solid modern version of that you can put into a car that I hear people with hip problems are using quite a bit. And you pick it up in places like Bradshaw's or Fergal Allen's in Newbridge or Top Parts in Galway. There's a few little aftermarket places you can get these things. They're only like 15 or 16 quid or something, but it's a solid item and it fits over the actual seat itself and ropes onto it. They're meant to be really comfortable. Other than changing your seat position, I'm assuming you've sat through the video that I made on how to sit in a car, right? If you sat through that bit and you've done all the adjustments, you're still not comfortable, there's something wrong with you and your seat. Jason says, hi Bob, good morning, love the Sunday service. However, I love that. I love the Sunday service. However, the rest of it is crap. No. However, I have a Nissan Note that's behaving rather strange. While driving, the car shuts off and restarts itself even while reversing, I think it is, and I can't find the rest of the question is missing. So a Nissan Note that is shutting off and restarting itself. So when is it shutting off? Is it shutting off when you push the clutch in? Or is it shutting off when you're driving along? Like, are you actually just taking off in first gear or reversing backwards and the car is just shutting down in the middle of it? If it's shutting off when the clutch is going in, it sounds like the alternator system isn't working. It's not delivering the electrical impulse to allow for tick over. And so the tick over is dropping off and it's restarting itself because there's a stop start system in it. Or it's an electrical problem which is coming from the stop start system. And so when you push the clutch in, the car thinks that you've stopped and you apply the brake and it's cutting off that. So there is a button to turn off stop start on your car. Try turning that off and going into reverse to see if that solves the problem. If it doesn't, then it's a little bit more sinister than that. Probably not a very expensive fix. Don't panic just yet. It's probably fairly straightforward. Nissan are very dependable on their cars and their electric, so I wouldn't really worry too much about that. It sounds like a fairly straightforward fuse issue, electrical problem. It does sound electrical though. Email me after, bobflav@thenextgear.com. Jason Ewart, email me after and I'll go through a few other things with you. Would you yourself rather go with a new VW Passat or the Skoda Superb, both being 2-litre TDI with DSG6? I prefer the looks of the Passat from those two. It is a bigger car as well than the Superb. No, it's not, sorry, the Superb is bigger, but I prefer the looks of the Passat. Yeah, no, I would prefer the looks of Passat. So Passat it is. Concentrate on running costs like tax, tyre, service or practicality of the car or hatch. Start again. Concentrate on running costs like tax, tyres, services or practicality of the car or hatch or saloons. I wouldn't concentrate on those things. Most people buy a car because of how low the tax is on it and end up in completely the wrong car for what they need. And so you kind of got to balance it out as to what you want. Bob Flav at thenextgear.com. Bob, your opinion on the proposed national maternity hospital story has been all over the news this week. Isn't it a joke, Colin, really seriously, that we have a national maternity hospital and the first thing we do is sell it to the nuns that created the problem in the first place? Just absolute and utter catastrophic codology in Ireland as per usual. Politicians want to make laws and just hand it away. They don't want the problem anymore. They want to create this thing and just go, here, you deal with it. You administer the thing and that's it, right? It doesn't make any sense to me that we have a privatised system for... And why did we privatise the lotto? Like, why did we privatise the Lewis? Why have we privatised toll bridges? And we pay millions every single year because toll bridges aren't busy enough, because people go around them. It just, none of this makes any sense. And no one ever gets the blame. No one ever resigns. No one ever goes, sorry, it's my fault, I should resign now, or I should be fired. No one ever does it. It's just this catastrophic screw up constantly. And no matter what we do, we will be stuck with it until we until the people behind the politicians, the unelected civil service, until they release their grip over what a TD actually can do and can't do. And that's what really we have. That's the biggest problem we have in this country, Colin, without a shadow of a doubt. Cindy, you're going to end up being banned. You are? No, I'm going to ban you now. I'm sorry. Goodbye. Block. Bye. That's just stupid, man. Stupid. I'll just keep banning everybody until you all settle down. This happens. Loads of people come in and then they all go in. Stop asking stupid questions. With all new crossovers on the market, VW Tiguan, Seat Ateca, and now the Skoda Kodiaq, is the choice just down to which you look rather than... That's a good question, Aaron. Yeah, pretty much, unfortunately, and that is a really big problem. At the moment, a lot of the cars are, they're versions of a version. So you have a version of the Tiguan, which is like the Seat thing, which is like the Skoda something else, and all the car companies are doing the same thing. It is just going to come down. Eventually, we're going to homogenise them, a lot of the same brand car outside the door, and there won't be anything new. So that would be a problem eventually. Greg Holland, oh yeah, that was about your proposed National Maternity Hospital. Look, I'll just flick back that National Maternity Hospital for a minute. We have been having babies as a race of humans since humans first came about. We are mammals, and our women have been having babies all the time. We need to go back to that again and start going, why can't we look after them? Why can't we look after women? In a national sense, we should be able to open a hospital where a woman can go and feel safe, can deliver her child in safety, and be looked after in a way where the baby's not being killed. Okay, because we've had problems in Portlaoise. This has all come to the surface over the last while, where we've had these massive problems here in this country over the way women were treated, and how women were shipped off on bicycle bars overnight to various institutions where they could have their baby, and the baby was thrown into a well at the back, into a sewage dump. It's a disgusting feature of this country, and the nuns were responsible for that in the beginning. The Catholic Church and religion in general in this country have been responsible for this problem for generations. And until we take it away from them, until we take that power off them and put it into the power of the people, and put it into the power of the doctors and nurses who want to look after the women out there, we are always going to be a stupid little backwater on the edge of Europe. And until we take responsibility for both women becoming pregnant and women giving birth in this country, we can never really press on. So giving the hospital to the nurses was the greatest slap in the face the Irish public has ever gotten, and nobody cares. And the people who do care can do nothing anyway, because it's all been done in the back room. Anyway, back again to normal stuff. Thoughts on the VW Tiguan tread? Tiguan is one of the finest looking cars in the SUV market at the moment. Any spec seems to be all the same. They are all a fabulous looking thing. I really, really like to look at them. There's a white one here in Portlaoise driving around with the, I think, 20-inch or 19-inch alloys on it. It just looks gorgeous. Really, really pleasant to think. I do like the Renault Scenic from early 2000s. I wouldn't go near a Renault from early 2000. That's definitely going to be broken, without a doubt. They're nice looking, I'm sure, but electrically, they get treated really hard. Renaults, in fairness to Renaults, they're usually well built, but they are treated like crap, and they really get a hard life. So by the time they're old, like now, they tend to just fall apart. Hold on. Block. So you get banned for doing that, Laura. Laura, you could have been so nice. You could have had such a lovely time here, and you end up getting banned. I'm such a nice person, like normally. Anyway. Hi, what's your experience with relatively new LED headlights? What's your opinion comparing it with conventional xenon headlights? New LEDs are fabulous, but they're bloody expensive, but they will go down in price eventually. Eventually, I say, but I don't know when. That's the problem, is I don't know when these things will get cheaper in price, but they will eventually get cheaper in price. But the new LED stuff is absolutely phenomenal, particularly what BMW and Audi are at the moment, where they have that little... It's very hard to explain, but at night time it wraps a block of light, a block of dark around the cars that are coming straight at you. It's an amazing thing to look at, and they do it so well. Attachment light, I call them. I'm on their side. I'm on women's side. I have 2 daughters. I have a wife. I'm on women's side. I was there at the birth of both of my daughters, right here in Portage Hospital, and had a lovely time. But there's nothing can replace the safety and security we need to provide for the women of this country, and that includes in the case of abortion. It's just stupid. It's been going on for generations, shipping the women over to England. Stupid thing that's been going on the whole time. Hold on, I have to find someone to ban them there. I can't remember what the name is now. I'll find them in a second now. When I find you, I'm going to ban you. The moderator's gone off there somewhere, I think. Moderator comes, moderator goes. Elton John has asked me an actual question. I'm honoured to have Elton John on my channel. Anyway, what is your favourite video that you've made on this channel over the years, and was it fun to make? My favourite video to look at, there's one I made about the Audi RS6, and it tells the history of the Audi Quattro and how Quattro became a thing, and Michel Mouton and all those things. So look that one up. Visually, I'm happiest with that video. And I suppose the one I released the other day again, which is the Golf 7, the one I did in Sardinia, I kind of like that because Jimi Hendrix on the beginning of it. That's the main part. But I particularly like the Audi one. That would be my kind of 2 favourite ones. I make so many, there's 400 and something videos on, and I don't remember them all. I also like the Volkswagen CC video I made. VW Golf, is the premium price over the Leon worth it? Equally, is the Audi A3 premium over the Golf worth it, or is it just branding with VW Audi? I would suggest that the step between the Leon and the Golf is worth it, because the Golf adds so much stuff to the Leon, just in terms of finesse and styling and things. But the step from the Golf to the Audi A3 isn't as worth it, as it's not as nice a step. But still, Audi do the best interior dashboard system layout and the connectivity and things. But that's going to homogenise soon enough. It will happen eventually. What's your favourite 4x4? Anything real Quattro is very, very good. Real Quattro though, okay? Hold on, we're going to have to go through all sorts of stuff here. This is out of hand now. There's so many people here. Just I don't know how to become a moderator. I have a clue. Savage King, right? Goodbye. I'm getting through everybody now. I'm just going to start banning people left, right, and centre for fun, just for fun. You're speaking Russian. Please speak English wherever you possibly can. Thank you. Holden first thing is. Okay, you can ban as well. Right. Okay, so there's 2 people banned right now. So everybody, take a breath. It's Sunday. There's no urgency on this. We're 72 minutes down as it is. Our moderator has lost his connection or whatever it is. He's having a bit of a problem. You become a moderator. YouTube choose you. I don't know. He appeared first week I did the live stream. He appeared. They're like super people. They apply for it and then they get it and they become moderators. Not everyone gets a moderator, but I do once in a while. So hopefully everyone's okay again now. We're all back to normal, right? So it's just I just ban you if you start. I don't accept any bad language. Don't type in caps. Don't flood the channel. Don't fight amongst yourselves. Do it somewhere else. It's not worth it. Brian Collins says, well said, Bob, on the hospital. Spot on. They might defrock you now. I'm just plain old Bob. That's true. I won't be Father Flav no more. Although if they can claim that they're fathers of anything, then I can claim that I'm Father Flav, because I am actually a father. I'm a real one though, because I have 2 kids. Hi Bob. Bigger wheels can bugger up the speedo reading. Only if you change it. Okay, so you can, if you change the wheels after you've bought the car, you change the speedo reading, but it'll only be by 5%. Speedos are out by 5% to begin with anyway. Test it on your sat nav. But you can change, so the bigger wheel will change the amount of rotation it takes to read the speedo. So it can be changed that way, alright, but only if you do it afterwards. If you order big wheels from the manufacturer, they do the changing of readings for you. They say that they find the streams, the trolls and how do trolls find the streams? They find it the same way you found the stream. They're probably subscribers. Opinion on a new tax in Dublin for diesel cars. Uncle Rise says, the problem is the Green Party, I'll say this again to you, right? The Green Party brought in the CO2 emissions tax system. The Green Party. But under the auspices of Fine Gael, they brought it in. Anywho, so the problem there was that when they brought it in, everybody changed over to CO2 emissions, and now all the cars are based on CO2. Diesel is the lowest CO2 of the group, so everybody bought a diesel. So 96% of the cars on the road are diesel, and that means that 96% of the cars in Dublin are also diesel. And when diesel cars are congested into a very small area within the city, the stink and the fumes that come out of the back of a diesel car are life-threatening. They give you cancer. It'll clog up your arteries. Stop you breathing properly. Put on a little white mask like they do in Japan and walk around Dublin for a day and just see the colour of the stuff on the outside. And so the ban of all cars from the city centre is the best thing of all time. Without a shadow of a doubt. Just ban all cars from the city centre of Dublin right now. It'd be brilliant. Honest to God, you won't know yourself. It'll take you a couple of weeks to get used to it, but you'll get used to it quick enough, alright. There's someone else I banned as well, right. Anyway, a lot of car designs seem to follow a trend. Is there anything really surprised you personally initially had to look at the new 3008 was grown on me from a design perspective? Okay, so French cars are kind of funny. French cars tend to throw out the baby in the bathwater and then design something entirely new. Look at Citroën. Every time they design a new car, it's not an evolution, it's a completely different car. It's like the last car was very successful, now let's dump that and make another one. A great example of what Peugeot did in that respect was when they went from the 206 to the 207 to the 208, and they made a balls with them. It was the best selling car they had. They sold by the bucket load because it was cheap, it was nice looking, it was good to drive, it was fun, and they completely didn't learn anything from that. They pushed that over the edge and built something else, and nobody bought it. And they've been in trouble on the back foot ever since. Ever since they've been in trouble trying to make up the ground. And yet they don't look at their history properly and go, how did we do that? And create a new one. So car design right now is designed by committee. Me and you design it. It's always about 5 years into the future. 5 to 7 years in the future. I met a couple of car designers over the years. One of them is an Irish guy who works in Audi. David Caffrey's his name. A really nice guy from Dublin. He's worked in Audi. He designed the current Audi A3. He designed the current Audi A3 Saloon. He designed the previous model Q5. And he talked about design, and it was a really interesting conversation. The more you talk to them, the more you realise how design works, that it's all kind of by committee. So you get 5 design teams or 4 design teams in the world, and they're all working on the next model Golf, right? And then a chief designer comes in, he goes, I like that model, I like that one, those 2 drawings are good. That team goes into fight with one another, little design teams come together, they choose one design, and they boil it down to being the latest version. So it's a long process to make a car. And really hard, and of course materials and engineering moves on so quickly, it changes the way things are designed. Yeah, I know the trolls are really annoying in live streams, they're really difficult, but YouTube is a cluster mess of a thing at the moment. Honest to God, they want me to do live stream, but yet they won't make it operate properly from a desktop. I can't do it from a desktop right without tons of add-on stuff, and on a phone like that I can do it, no problem. Hi Bob, you got Civic penciled in and I'm soon for review. Civic is literally Tuesday. I have a Honda Civic all week next week. She was trying to give me the Honda Civic 1 litre and the 1.5, but I just don't have the schedule in it for next week, so I'm taking a 1.5 for the week. Next week's a really busy week because I have to go to the UK for the new Suzuki Swift, as well as looking at the new Civic. So next week is going to be really busy. And I have to go to YouTube headquarters in Dublin for something on Saturday. I don't know what it is. I have to go up to YouTube headquarters in Dublin for something. And he has to give a talk or to talk to people. I know. And bigger whales can book up the speed reading. Yes, they can. I said about defrock me. I can defrock me all I want. How does someone become a moderator? I have no idea. Bob, running this thing like King Jong-un, fair play. I do, yeah, I do. I'm pretty severe. I believe YouTube should be an open, democratized society. We should all be able to put whatever video we want online. But also the creator should take responsibility for who's watching it and the moderation of that, because it could be my daughters watching it. I'm not saying they aren't or not. They're probably watching Cookie World C or Dan TDM or something like that. But it could be anybody out there who's watching the live stream at the moment. And I feel responsible enough to try and protect them from the trolls. I get trolled all the time. That's fine. In fairness, I don't get that many bad comments on my channel. But the ones that are there, I read every single comment. I get an email. Every time someone comments, I get an email. I read through everyone to make sure there's nothing dodgy or risky or freaky in it or anything crazy. So I do take on board what happens when somebody trolls on the internet. But yeah, it's just part of life. Evil Smurf says, Bob, comma, yeah? Was that a question? Liam Boyle, any advice for a used hybrid, like looking at fancy grass? Like looking at fancy grass, about 15k. Any of the Prius, without a shadow of a doubt, any of the Prius will do what you're looking to do. Only the current one does the best fuel economy I've ever seen. So I don't know, I can't really say ones about before that. But hybrid-wise, there hasn't been that many hybrids around. Not in Ireland. It's very hard to see where a hybrid is going to be. Kenneth McGreever. Afternoon, Bob. Afternoon, Kenneth. How are you? Elton John, do you ever watch RTE News to stay up to date, or do you just go online? Generally, Elton John, I go online. If you go to news.google.ie, it's an amalgamation of all news that happens everywhere, right? And you can kind of choose news sources of where you want to pull the news from and how you get it there. So you get a sort of a world view, an overall view of what's generally happening. But generally speaking, I tried my best to stay away from the news between certain hours of the day. The news does nothing but inflame you. It makes you feel like the world is going against you. It makes you feel like the World War III is about to start. We tend to forget very quickly that 99.9% of the world's population are lovely people and wouldn't harm a fly and will help you whenever you want. We tend to think now that everyone's against us and people buy guns and try and protect themselves and prep for the end of the world. It's all a lot of nonsense, and it's the news that brings that. So I try to keep the news I try to keep up with what's generally happened on a world circuit, but I use certain services to do that with. That news version, Google one would be one. I would go to Reuters news every once in a while as well, very rarely these days. But I try and keep a broad spectrum of what news is happening. I try to stay away from, the usual sort of suspects like the Sun or the Star or whatever for news, unless you like that angle. Bob, do you think an EV infrastructure will get serious investment in Ireland? Evil Smurf, we have, without a doubt, and I will be quoted on this whenever you want, we have the best infrastructure in Europe. And the reason I say that is because we have one supplier, so there's one cable, one card that opens all the things right across the entire island of Ireland. If you go to Europe, I'm telling you, go over to France and look how many cards they have to open different electrical charge points. There's 8 or 10 different cards. They have 4 or 5 different cables. They have 6 or 7 different charging points. It's a mess, and that's not just France. The ones in Germany are different from the ones in France. The ones in Holland are different from the ones in France. You can't drive from France to Holland in an electric car and bring the same card to open all the charge points with you. You need to buy another one in Holland. So Ireland's at the pinnacle. Ireland is the cutting edge of what's happening in electric charge points out there right now. And now Tesla's in the country, so there's 3 supercharge points as well. So there's big investment after happening already. We do need to invest more things. We do need the government department, and I'd love to become the Minister of Transport just to install this bit. But if you're the Minister of Transport, watch something like this and ever take advice from anyone out there who might know what they're talking about, the first thing we need to do is to allow electric cars to use the bus lane, number 1. Number 2, when you're charging at a charge point in Dublin or Galway or Cork or wherever it is, you don't pay for parking. Parking should be free while you're charging. That's number 2. And number 3, the tax on a electric car, the CO2 charge that we have right now, should be abolished, and it should be 0. And then we get a lot of people driving electric cars. I guarantee it. What was the Ford that was known to blowing up called? I never heard of it, Aidan. There was never a Ford, as far as I'm aware, that was prone to blowing up. Are we to expect a soon end of the diesel engines in cars? Not soon, but we will expect the end of combustion engine within the next 10 years. Bob, wondering if there was a noticeable difference in comfort if choosing a 5 Series over an SE 5. Is that SE? Sorry, it skipped there on me. 5 Series in M Sport over SE spec. There is some suspension difference and some alloy wheel difference. If you change the interior, you will get a different seat. So there are the 3 things that make up how the comfort would work in a car. So if you're changing those 3 from one spec to the other, yes, you will definitely feel a difference in comfort. Generally speaking, the lower spec, and this is going to sound really bad, but the lower spec in BMW tends to be more comfortable than the upper specs, by the way. They tend to make them softer at the bottom and firmer at the top. Bob, do you have a SoundCloud playlist based on your music in your videos? I don't on SoundCloud. I do on Spotify. If you search for Spotify, if you search for Bob Flavin, you will see driving songs, Bob Flavin, which is based on the kind of music that influences the stuff that happens on my videos. But the video stuff is down to copyright. I hate YouTube videos. I can't use the stuff from pop chart stuff. And so I went on to Spotify. I started roaming about in that place and directly asking the individuals on Spotify, like Andrew Applepie, like Dahlia, like all those guys that I use in my videos. I asked them, could I use the music? I showed them my channel. I was really open and honest about it. I said, here's my channel. Here's the videos I kind of make. I want to use your music on it. What do you think? And they went, yes, as long as they get promotion out of it. So it's been a nice thing. I don't really have any of I link, every time I use a video, I link to the person who made the video or made the music. So that's my only list. Do you think going from Greece to Ireland is going to be hard as a family to work, school? Not really. Ireland's pretty open. Ireland's okay. We get on well with the Greek as well. So, and I was in Athens for quite some time. I spent some time there years ago, 97, 98 in Athens, when you had what was that currency that was out there in Athens at the time? It was like monopoly money. What's the word? And then went to Bulgaria and ended up with levs, which levs looked like monopoly money. I remember walking with £5 sterling and came out with 15,000 levs. Amazing currency. What's your email address, says Jason, right? Write it down. You ready? You ready? Bobflav, BOBFLAV at thenextgear.com. And you'll get me on that one. Or just send me a direct message there on Facebook or Twitter or any of them. Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter, and Bob Flavin and all them things. If you don't mind me asking, do you pay for travel to that Suzuki launch in the UK, or does Suzuki pay? No, Suzuki pays. There's no journalist could afford to transport themselves to these things. They cost a fortune. So generally the car companies, if you want me to drive your car and you want me to see the car up front, you want me to bring the car to here, the trade-off is you get me there. But it tends not to be luxurious. We tend to stay in nice hotels, but I won't stay in something that's worse than my house. I mean, why would I? Why would I travel halfway across Europe to go look at your car to stay in somewhere that's worse than my house? It wouldn't make any sense. So generally you stay somewhere that's nice, but you're only there for 12 hours. You know, you land, you drive a car, you sleep, you have some dinner, you get some sleep, you get up the next morning, the crack of dawn, you're back in an airport and you're flying home. So it's like that. You don't get to swim or enjoy yourself around that. Not usually. Bob, Nissan Pathfinder or Toyota 4Runner? Depends on how big of a job does you need to do here. Like Land Cruiser is going to be the better of those anyway. The Pathfinder is very good but weird looking. Toyota 4Runner is not bad actually. Ride is good, but these are all very off-road cars. So if you're really going off-road, it's a Toyota Land Cruiser you're looking for, or Nissan Patrol, or so one of those kind of bigger cars that would do the job. Depends on its use though, and that question came from Bojangles. Mr. Bojangles, there's a song called that. Which 3 car brands do you think should work together to make a dream car? There's no dream cars left, lads. I'm sorry to say, there isn't really. If you could take the handling that Alfa Romeo put into the Giulia and the exterior of the Giulia and give it the reliability of something like a Subaru or, you know, there isn't really that kind of dream car out there. But I would, Alfa Giulia at the moment, the Quadriflogio, 4-leaf clover version, that's the one. There's the dream car, and it's just Alfa Romeo involved in that. Afternoon, Bob. Just arrived after watching the F1. Good man, Sean. Well done. Congratulations. Welcome. Click the like button up there. We're nearly there to 100 likes. Can we get 100 likes there? It must be 96. Surely, to God, 4 of you could click the like button at any time shortly after 90 minutes of this. Oh man, my throat is killing me. Why did Honda drop the Accord? I thought it was popular. The Honda Accord is still. Do you know what? If you go back a few years, there's a Honda Accord that was there. It's really good. You're going back to the noughties there to get the Accord I'm talking about, but it's a really nice car. The Accord just wasn't selling for them. The Jazz was selling, the Civic is selling, the Accord just wasn't selling, and they didn't want to compete in that market. It's a tough segment. That's like higher fleet stuff, It's pretty hard to get to that point. So they always make those decisions. They drop them. Car companies drop cars all the time. They might bring back the Accord in the future, and I think they still do it in other territories, just not in Ireland. Oh, it's after jumping again. YouTube, you're fucking. The Prius is a deadly yoke. Have an '08 model, 150,000 miles. Never had a day's problem. Liam should have no worries buying one. There you are, Liam. Brendan Bergen says his Prius has been around since 2008, 150,000 miles on it, and there's no problem with it whatsoever. There's very few moving parts in the electric part of that car, and the rest is just a standard petrol engine, so it's not a big deal. Do you think the new booster jet SHVS engine in the S4 Cross is a good engine? It is one of the best engines I've driven this year, and that is no joke. Sedouche. I've had no trouble with it. I think it's really economical, plenty of power, it cruises incredibly well. You will forget within a day that you're driving a 1 litre. Other than you're trying to surprise people, you know it's only a 1 litre engine? Yeah, that's what you do. It's really good. Johnny B. Good says, Bob, Bob, have you or will you do a review on a St. Leon FR estate? Did I not do a review on a St. Leon FR estate? I think I did. I think there's one back there. Definitely did. Driving around Dublin somewhere. It was a silver one. Definitely a St. Leon FR anyway. Maybe it was a Cupra. No, I think it was an FR. I've had no problem. I would have no problem recommending a St. Leon FR estate, particularly. Especially if you debadge it and then you pull up beside somebody at traffic lights and leave them standing. Deadly. Do you ask the artist when using their music and videos? I certainly do, Elton. I make sure I email them and I send them a direct message on SoundCloud, and I give them my phone number, my email address, my contact details, other videos I've done, a link to my YouTube channel, a link to my website, any information they request. And I do not download nor use any of their music until they've given me permission to do so and under the strict guidelines. So I ask them what way they want to be credited, what links they'd like on their videos, and music attribution is always up to them as to how they want to use it. No one has ever said no to me, I'll put it that way. Apart from, the ones who've ever said no to me are the ones who have record deals. They're the only ones who have either not answered or said no. The ones who got record deals, because the record companies don't want them using stuff, even though I only want to use 30-40 seconds of their music, and it's always for a promotion purpose. Some record people would be very nervous about how, if I put one of their songs onto a video that's about, I don't know, Nazis or something that's bad, it would associate their music with something that's bad, but the rest of them seem to understand how it works. Liam Boyle says, cheers Bob and Brendan, have a look at Prius later. There's a problem with one of our Fords last year. I don't know if it exploded or caught fire. Sorry if I was wrong. There was no Ford last year that caught fire. The only car that I know of last year that was catching fire was the Opel Zafira, which it was being set fire to itself in the road, basically. Fireman, hello, don't just be here for the crack now. Calm down, don't flood the channel, ask questions, all nice. Does Ireland really have the infrastructure to supply electricity for the country full of electric cars? Yes, it certainly does. We are only at about 80% of our capacity when it comes to actually delivering electricity in this country. And electric cars don't use as much electricity as you might think. So an electric car to charge would cost about €4.50. So to run your house at night time costs about €2, the whole house. And that's using a lot of electricity stuff in it as well. Now I'm on gas heatings here, so I have natural gas coming to the house that heats our water and heats our radiators and things. So that's not coming from electricity. But generally speaking, when I plug in an electric car here for a week, I don't even notice it on the electricity bill. So it doesn't use as much electricity you might imagine. And anyway, ESB would be very quickly to tell us if they're running short. We would hear about it, be in the papers every single day. Aidan Denny, Ford Pinto in 1960s. Correct, the Ford Pinto would explode on being touched with a pin. Back in the 60s, yeah, but not like last week or last year. Ford Galaxy in 2003-2005, just happened information, don't know what you mean. Was there a problem with the Ford Galaxy going on fire? Anyway. Bob, will you ever see car insurance prices fall? Once we revolt, once we start talking to TDs about it, and they talk to insurance companies and they say they can't interfere, the only way to get insurance companies to lower their prices is public pressure. And the public pressure has to be put on our TDs. These people we elect and pay $100,000 a year to do the job need to be pushed and prodded the whole time about insurance. There's a man living near me here, can't insure the 1.4 Ford Focus from 2003. He just can't get insurance because he hasn't been in the country for 3 years. The man is 53 years old and has had a full driver's license his whole life. But because he's got a break in his insurance at 3 years, he can't get insurance. It sounds stupid. But they will fall. They rise, they fall, they rise, they fall. It won't fall to the same levels it used to be, but hopefully we'll get to the point where we'll be able to catch up eventually. Drachma, that is correct. It was the drachma. Could never work it out, man. A cup of coffee is like 1,500 drachma. I remember that. It was 97, 98 or something when I was there first. Spent about 6 or 7 weeks there, playing music, playing guitar at weddings and in pubs and things, and earning drachma, which wasn't worth a fiddler's. I remember a cup of coffee was 1,500 drachma, and like a meal out would be 20,000. It's great crack though. Duster automatic. Jesh is asking about a Dacia Duster automatic. Any good? No. They're all right. But you know, you really have to be on a tight budget to be choosing something from Dacia these days. And seriously, like all the other cars around the edge of it have dropped down their prices as well. There is good choice in that segment at the moment. And spending an extra couple of grand will get you an entirely different car. Dacia is incredibly reliable. They're really cheap, but they feel every bit really cheap. So if you're coming from my car, if you're coming from a 2006 Seat Leon to a Dacia Duster, you will go, wow, this is great. It feels brilliant. If you are coming from a car that's 3 or 4 years old into a Dacia Duster currently, it's like downgrading. So you get what you pay for. Put it that way. The Ford Kuga that I had some caught fire, killed a guy in South Africa, I think. Really? Are these real, genuine things? That anyone got a link that they can give me for any of these messages? Because I'd love to go and read them and then go and ask Ford, what happened with that? I did ask very, very difficult questions. I did ask Tesla the other day, who were very good and answered honestly every question apart from sales figures. They don't answer sales, they don't talk about figures. I did ask them, what is the trade-in value, minimum trade-in value of a Tesla Model S in the future? And they said they have PCP, so there will be a minimum trade-in value, 63% of the value of the car, which seems pretty good for 3 years old. But only if you're buying another Tesla. Like I said in my video, what happens if I bought a Tesla today, Tesla Model S, 120 grand, and in 4 years' time or 3 years' time I went, you know what, I like an Audi A6 this year, I think I'll buy an Audi A6. And I drive my Tesla into an Audi dealership. How much money do you think I get for it there? Hassan Production. Just look, someone's after asking to join the live stream there for a €500 Amazon gift card. That is full of shit. You're full of shit. That never happens. There's no such thing as a giveaway on anything to do with these live streams. It never happens. So don't be silly. Don't join that live stream. It's going to be stupid, right? So anyway, yeah, okay, so he's blocked there. That's the end of that, right? So let's not talk about that again. Will you test the Alfa Romeo Stelvio soon? Whenever it reaches Ireland, and Alfa Romeo, who can be very slow about signing up, you used to chase Alfa Romeo to get cars rather than they chasing you. But if it comes here, yeah, no problem. Will you play GTA 5 on your channel? I would if I had a computer big enough to stream GTA 5. I have it on Steam. I have it there. I played it to death. But the problem is to stream what you're playing on a PC. You've got two choices. One is you point a camera at the screen and you record that. It doesn't work in reflections and all sorts of godology, right? So the proper way to do it is to record what you're seeing. But it means the graphics card has to do two jobs. One is to play the actual game, and the other one has to record the actual game. That's the problem. And you just never, it'll just skip and jump and hop and do things. And then it's trying to record your voice and all sort of stuff. So the only way to do it would be to get a better computer, and I need investment to do that. About €1,000 will invest. 700-800 quid. Joe Dean. That was for actually. Luke Brophy. What's your opinion on the best electric car on sale today? The best is the Model S from Tesla. That is definitely not the cheapest. Currently, the best one would be a toss-up between the e-Golf, which is very good, very, very good. There's also an e-Passat kind of hybrid thing, very short range though. And the Nissan Leaf, which is the granddaddy of electric cars for sale in Ireland at the moment. Nissan Leaf would get my vote just because, not because of the design of the thing, just because they have been through the mill of making electric cars in the first place. They know what they're doing. So, Luke, I would suggest if you want to get into electric cars, buy a second-hand Nissan Leaf, maybe 3-4 years old, and upgrade from there. Dip your toe, see how you're getting on with that. If you've got plenty of money, go out and buy a Tesla Model S, and you'll be laughing. Alan Harmon, great Sunday service again. Keep up the good work, Bob. Come on every day. Click the like button. Go to see you next week. Thanks, Alan. Yeah, click the like button. 108 likes. That's pretty good. Are we going 100 minutes? This is the longest. No, it's not the longest one I've done. I'm doing longer. When are you going to be doing a review on your own set, Leon? When I get 5 minutes, Sean, I'll be honest with you. When I get a few minutes, I'm trying to find another job, a real one, at the moment. And I'm doing a video every single day on the channel, which is a lot of work. And there's just a lot of little events coming up as well. I have to go to Switzerland. I have to go to Sweden. I have to go to somewhere up to Northern Europe soon. Is that Finland I'm going to? I can't remember. I'm going somewhere in Northern Europe very soon for another launch of something or other. There's another couple of launches coming up as well. One in Barcelona, there's one I think in America, but that's put off for the moment. So there's a lot going on. It's trying to get the time to go out and do all these sort of things, as well as do the reviews on the cars I've got. Golf or Alfa Romeo? One's a car brand and the other one's a car. Actually, the other one's a sport. You live in Mayo, Joe Dean. Well done. Good man. There's loads of Irish people on the channel. Believe it or not, there is. We get a lot of Irish people now these days. The Irish numbers have gone up that way recently. Pretty good, actually. Is the Next Gear your website? No, I can't. TheNextGear.com is actually my website. Yes, it is. I have not written car reviews on TheNextGear.com for ages. I've been concentrating entirely on YouTube, as much as I possibly can. I find the video conversation to be much more fun than writing a strict review and publishing it and formatting it and grammar checking, grammar Nazis and people going spelling mistakes. It's much easier to convey a message in a video for me. And so I concentrated on the videos for a very long time, but I am going to appear in leashtoday.ie if anyone wants to read that, car reviews. That's starting in a couple of weeks' time. That will be text and video. And I'll be publishing other stuff as well around the edges of it to get around the side of that part. I'm also doing Midlands Today radio show. And I think I'm doing 2FM have asked me to do some stuff as well. So there's a bit going on around the background. Getting paid for all that is a whole different ballgame. The government will lose a fortune on fuel tax, so more than likely they will introduce some tax for electric cars. Yeah, I know. And you see, we put up with it. I'm sorry, but you can point a finger at the government all you want, but the government have money in, money out. The country costs this much to run, I need to have that much tax. Let's hit the motorist. And the motorist goes, no, another tax. I'll pay it. You got to do what we did with the water charges, which was just not pay it. And deal with the consequences. Ever backpacked? What? Sorry, let's skip forward there. Ever backpacked? Any travel tips? I have backpacked all over the bloody world. Go look at a video I made which is called Just Say Yes. Look at that and then you'll know my best tip to you right now this moment is just say yes. If you want to go travel, you want to go do things, go do it, because before you know it, you'll be old, you'll have children, you'll have a mortgage, you'll have a life, and you can go nowhere. Do it, start doing it, love it, hate it, whatever it is. If you say yes, it's always a positive answer rather than saying no. If you say no, it's like, oh yeah, well, I'm never going to do that. You'll only ever regret the things you say no to, I promise you. So definitely, if you're going to go backpacking, go do it. Don't be afraid of having to sleep on a field, or meet up with people and go into someone's house or whatever. It's be fine. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Early 2000 Skoda, perhaps Fabia or Octavia. Yeah, do you want Skoda Octavia 1.9 diesel? It's noisy, but it'll go like they're like tanks. They never stop. Do you watch The Chase? What's The Chase? No, probably not. If I'm asking you what it is, then no, no, I don't. If that's on telly, I don't really watch a lot of telly, in fairness. It's on, but I don't really watch it. Bob, the new Nissan Micros no longer looks like the old boot, which is great, but it will reliability suffer as apparently the new model is being made in a Renault factory in France. It's been made, Brian, it's been made by Renault in France, but under the strict supervision of Nissan guidelines. Nissan do not want a bad reputation on the reliability front. It would absolutely murder the sales that they've got right now if they start to be unreliable. So, but at the same time, it cuts down their manufacturing cost, the transport cost, everything else. It's manufactured in Renault under the agreements. It'll be shipped here a little bit quicker as well. Micro's always been on the fleet market. I'm supposed to be testing a Micro sometime Friday, but I think I'm in the air. I think I'm flying or something. It's supposed to be this Friday. It's been launched here in Ireland. It looks really good. It looks nice. It really does. But I think that segment has shifted very quickly. If you go off and drive the new Kia Picanto, which is really nice, such a pleasant little 3-pot car, just does such a good job. There's a lot of choice in that market. The good thing that Micro has is a name, is a history. Sakib, how are you? I'm doing good, man. Not a bother. Don't flood the channel. Just ask the questions. One question at a time. Don't spam. Just relax there. Ask the single question, and I answered the question. But anyway, what's up? You're doing well. Luke Brophy. Bob, my Führer says there. No, my father is looking to upgrade his car. He has a Ford Focus 132. Loves the Ford, has him all his life. Trying to persuade him into something different. A BMW 3 Series is my suggestion. It's a bit of a step, Luke. I know you'd like a BMW 3 Series, maybe. It's a good choice you're making. But to get him from a 132 Ford Focus to a BMW 3 Series is quite a big step. I don't know where the moderator went. It's okay, I'll moderate myself. Be fine for the moment. I do anyway. I regularly ban people. You just don't notice I'm doing it because I'm able to talk. I'm able to multitask. I can talk and ban people all at the same time. You could definitely look. The 3 Series is a lovely car. You kind of have to buy the mid-range 3 Series. It's going to be quite a lot of money to change hands to get from that Ford Focus to the mid-range 3 Series. Don't buy a manual 3 Series. Just buy an automatic one, a decent one. From Ford Focus. If you want something sporty, you go to Ford Focus RS. He's going from front-wheel drive to rear-wheel drive as well. Is a bit of a problem. Lot to do. A lot of bits going on in that one. Your thoughts about the Ford Focus ST250? Don't buy that. Buy the Ford Focus RS. It's the only Ford Focus you need, really. If you're going to go that end of it, go to the Ford Focus RS and you'll never look back, I promise you. Hi Bob, do you think a higher diesel car tax coming down the line? There was a good programme on RTE Primetime last week explaining that it's not clean as people think. That's RTE Primetime doing its thing, which is stating Ministry of the Bleeding Obvious. This is old news in fairness. What Primetime is pointing out, they never even asked the journalists in the country, the real ones, the ones like me who actually do the research, they never asked them what was happening. The government of England apologised for so often for bringing in the CO2 emissions thing in London. It was a stupid idea. It was stupid as the Green Party to do it at the time, and it's still stupid for them to do it. And even having a primetime discussion over that was a stupid thing to do. So it makes no sense for us to have all the diesel cars we have. You really don't need them. But 108 minutes, Ross, if you just arrived. But yes, the government will have to do something about the CO2. They'll have to bring it down. We're going to miss our targets again this year. It makes no sense as to what's going on. But prime time is just, like I say, ministry of the bleeding obvious last week, and could have spent the time asking myself, at any point I'm available for comment, asking myself or someone like me to comment on exactly what is happening, and stop asking the RSA and stop asking the AA who sell you car insurance. Conor Faulkner is brilliant at talking, and I like Conor. I know Conor. I've met him loads of times, but he sells car insurance. He sells roadside assistance. He's not on behalf of the customers at all. Money, I don't make any money from it, so I'm willing to comment about anything. But yes, we will have to change people's consuming habits. They will have to move to electric, they will have to move to petrol, they will have to move to hybrid and get away from diesel. There's too many diesels on the road. Where was the best place you backpacked? Germany was brilliant, but it was a very long time ago. Germany was really, really good crack. The best place for getting a lift, towing lift, is Germany. Absolutely. The German truck drivers were so nice, and the Polish truck drivers were really nice while I was passing through. The overlandy stuff was brilliant. What do you call that country? I can't think what it's called now. It was north of Greece, the next country up from Greece in a direct line, and we took a thing called a magic bus as well. I'd say it's gone now, but you used to have to get a magic bus from Greece to Ireland. No joke, a bus. It took 6 days, and it cost €15, and it was the best. I could write a book on my experiences on that book over 6 days. It was great crack. What do you think of the 2000 Opel Astra Saloon, my own car? Difficult seating position, kind of a plasticky interior, and that clock on the dashboard looks like it came out of the 1970s. But nice car though. They were good, reasonably priced. Hi Bob, X1 or Ateca? Are you talking about a BMW X1 or an Ateca? Buy an Ateca. Don't buy a BMW X anything. They're not great. X6 is good. That's the only one though. Mr. Instrumentals. Hi Bob. Hi Mr. Instrumentals. Bob, do you like music? Mr. Instrumentals, check out my channel for awesome videos and music. Subscribe now and leave a comment. Please don't touch my video. Oh my god. You're so sad. I know, look, I get a lot of people on this channel. They're really nice guys, and a lot of them will come and do stuff on instrumentals. But if you're putting your stuff up on YouTube and you're not asking me to use it, then there's no point in coming here and asking for stuff. But what problems do the Skoda Superb suffer from? They don't really suffer from any problems other than the gearbox tend to be a little bit sluggish in them, and it's just a DSG thing. They're not a snappy gearbox, not meant to be a snappy car, but don't really suffer from any problems other than it's very expensive for what do you call them, tow bars. Other than that, nothing. There's nothing really goes wrong with Skodas. Skodas are pretty reliable and determined things to keep running. How long have I been going for now? 111 minutes. Bob, can we see you today from some websites after this? I don't know if it goes on today. I'm not the editor of it, but from leashtoday.ie, Leash Today is the name of the website. I will be reviewing cars on that in text and video, but you get the videos. YouTube get the video first, so it's not like I'm giving a special video or something on Leash Today. It's the video that I put up on YouTube that will appear there with a text explanation to go with it. So there will be text and how I write, and I tend to write a little bit more comedically, I suppose, or funny than I do in video. Tesla is worth more than Ford. I don't understand what that means. A Tesla's like 120 grand. You could get an awful lot of Fords for 120 grand. In fairness, you could buy at least 3 or 4 Mondeos for one Tesla Model S. Hey Bob, checked out the Kodiaq yesterday. It was great. Only niggles are the rear door windowsills are hard plastic. Unlike the front, there's no 5-seaters available here. That's correct. There are only 7 seats here. I don't know why I didn't bring a 5-seater. Maybe because I didn't want to intrude in the Tiguan space or the Seat Alteca space or the Audi Q5 space or Q3. But hard plastic is to be expected when you have a budget price, but you know they'll save money wherever they possibly can. You'd be surprised where they can save money on little tiny places, little tiny yokes. I don't know what that says. If I don't know what to say, I usually block people. That's that's what happens next. You end up getting blocked. Tesla's worth more than Ford as a business. Yes, it is. Yes, but it's Elon Musk, and he's a multi-billionaire, and he made it all from what's it called, eBay. I don't know what he makes now, other than SpaceX and all that sort of stuff. So there's a lot going on in the background of Tesla that's driving Tesla. Tesla does not make any money. Tesla has not made a profit since day one, and Tesla's been open for 6 years. But they've come a long way in 6 years, in fairness. Any thoughts on Maserati Ghibli? Maserati don't really get sold in Ireland, so I don't really pay much attention to it. If it's not on sale, if you can't buy it in a dealership in Ireland, I don't really pay much attention to it because I'd only be chasing views if I went off and started doing that sort of stuff. But it'd be nice. It'd be lovely to have Maserati here. I've seen a few Maseratis. It's a weird looking car, in fairness to it. Okay, Colin is off. See you, Colin. Have fun, boy. Enjoy your day. I'm not going to be far behind you. Alteca or Puget 3008. Ateca I would recommend at the moment. I haven't spent a long time with the 3008, surprisingly, but I have had a little poke about inside one. They're nice, but again, you're going to pay a fair whack for a good spec, and the said Ateca comes with decent spec straight off the bar. Manuel has deserved a look at Manuel. Everybody look at Manuel Castaveira's comment. See that there? I won't class that as racism just yet, but you know what? I'm old enough, and it's my channel. So guess what happens to you? Bye now. What's your favorite hot hatch? Ford Focus RS, definitely hot hatch. I love the GTI Cupra. It's just a bit expensive, 40 grand, 42, 43 grand. The Club Sport one, but the Ford Focus RS would be my favourite hot hatch right now. I would say the new Golf R or the revised Golf R that's coming at me right now is probably going to be around the same sort of thing. But the Ford Focus RS it gets those gentleman's vegetables things going well. I quite like that. Yeah, that was the Zachary was just updating me there about the things he'd seen. Cupra. Oh yeah, Cupra or Golf R. That's a really hard question, Chris. Cupra. Cupra with a DSG box, flappy paddle box, beautiful thing, and probably as fast, near enough, as a Golf R on a track at least. Does your Leon have AC? It does have AC, and it's broke. It was an Audi system AC in 2006 that was fitted to my car, and all of the gas went out in the first 12 months. And I went back to the Seat dealership who couldn't fix it, which was Waters Garage in Kildare, where I bought it brand new. They couldn't fix it. There was no one in Ireland dealing with air conditioning. I rang Seat Ireland at that time in 2006 or 2007, and they couldn't fix it. And so it remained broke until about 2 years later, where I asked an air conditioning specialist to have a look at it, who I found one, and he couldn't fix it. So over time it just ended up being broke constantly. So I never really got it fixed. It's just there. Any Irish car events you'll be attending coming up? I don't tend to plan them. I tend to just turn up is the best way to do it. I don't tend to plan which one I go on. It's just kind of, I'm in the area, so I wander into something. Nobody has a good list of Irish car events. It's just kind of local ones, and I'd be prepared to travel to one. So I might have to make my own car event, probably the best thing to do. Does Alcantara keep you up at night? I have it written on a big lump of card, just in case. Alcantara. Yeah, I have it. It's written there somewhere. Yeah, that was funny. There's another video coming on that one, actually. Hi, Bob. Is the newer 2016 1.4T Insignia any better than the older one model? It is. 1.4 is very big or very small engine for such a big car. The problem I have with the older Insignia was that the dashboard looked like someone took a shotgun and fired all of the buttons in on it. Millions of buttons. It's too complicated. The newer one was better. Still, it's still a forgettable sort of a car, though, isn't it? Really, the Insignia. I don't know why. I just never really pops into my head as something that I like. What's your opinion regarding the reliability of French cars? Does the reliability improved, or still some issues? Reliability has improved, without a doubt, but they still buy in electrics from other companies, so they'll never really get to the point of total reliability. I don't think anyone does. French cars don't age well. That's the big thing about French cars, unfortunately. As they get older, they tend to get trouble straight away. New F10 5 Series diesel. I have not had any, Kenneth, I have no reports of any reliability issues with any of the BMWs. I do have reports of incredibly expensive service costs when it comes to BMW. but I don't have any reliability call-ups or anyone ringing me and telling me this thing's broken down every 5 minutes, or I need your help to get in touch with BMW Ireland or something. No, I haven't had any problem with that. So no is the answer, but BMW comes with a price tag on the other end of the scale of reliability when it comes to getting it serviced, which would be a problem. I've run out of water, I've run out of coffee. It's 118 minutes I'm going for now. And I have to go shopping because I have to cook dinner. What do I cook for dinner? What do you think? What would you like for dinner? Suggestions on a postcard. What would you like for dinner? John O'Brien says, "Hi Bob, thinking of getting an Alteca. Is the petrol engine on the way to go? Will diesels lose more value over the next 5 years? I can see them being targeted for their emissions." Yeah, I can too. Go for the lowest emission. If you want to buy for emissions, go for the lowest emissions thing that you can possibly find, and then you'll be sorted on that part. Bob Flav at the next gear, Elton John. Bob Flav at thenextgear.com. If you go to thenextgear.com and copy and paste that and put Bob Flav at the front of it, you're bang on. Spot on there, you get me. But you can get in touch with me on Facebook. I'm just Bob Flavin there somewhere. I don't use Facebook much, so don't expect an answer straight away. Twitter, I'm at the next gear. Snapchat, at Bob Flavin. What else do I use? Email. If you post me a letter, Bob Flavin, Portlaoise, that'll do. Fella that reviews cars, Portlaoise. I bet you I get me. Cabbage and bacon, it's Darren Dermot. That's not a bad idea, actually. I wouldn't mind a bit of cabbage and bacon, that'd be nice. Ratatouille. I haven't made ratatouille in a long time. What's your opinion on touchscreens and buttons? I hate touchscreens. I prefer buttons for certain things. Touchscreens are okay, but there's no haptic feedback, so you don't know if you've actually pressed the right button without looking at it. So when you look at it, you're taking your eyes off the road, which means you're putting yourself in danger for the touchscreen. But at the same time, if they put the common controls outside the touchscreen, you're okay. So if you leave the radio and the sat nav on the touchscreen, I'm okay with that. And they have the heating controls and everything else as manual clicky things. That's fine by me. Cooper is then. You recommend getting a used 290 or the new 300? Get a 290. You'll be fine. 300 is not worth it. It's just a big step for 10 horsepower. The 290 is an incredible yoke. I drove one around Mondello and did a faster lap time than a Golf R. No joke. Lasagna, that's a good one. Lasagna, oh yeah. I think I might. That's a real, because it's a rainy, drizzly, grey day here in Ireland. That's a real comfort food thing. Lasagna. Oh look, there's 2 suggestions for lasagna. You guys are good. I'll have to go and get all the stuff though. Bob, would you have us all around for Sunday dinner one day? I tell you what we do. What I'll do is over the next few weeks we'll create a car show. How about that? So what we'll do is we'll create a live Sunday service, and we'll all meet. We'll all bring what you got. Bring whatever car you own, a motorbike, a car, classic, modern, current, whatever. Bring it all to one place. We'll have a meet-up and we'll do a live stream for 2 hours at a meet-up. How about that? There's a challenge for you. Somebody wants to get in touch with me to start organising that. One of you guys, email me and we'll start organising that over the next few weeks, and by I know, we'll do it sometime in June or July, and we'll try and get it all together and bring all of our lovely friends from YouTube all over Ireland. We'll do a full live stream from a car show. That'd be some crack. Irish stew is a good one. And that came from Brian Cullen, around for Sunday dinner. And we'll arrange Sunday dinner at our live Sunday service car meet-up we'll have. Anyway, Elton John says Irish stew. Yeah, no, not stew. I think I prefer lasagna so far. Lasagna is the winner at the moment. Irish stew is nice, but it would take too long to do good Irish stew. It takes 3 or 4 hours. Have experience on the 60 PS VW Up versus the 75 PS one in daily use. I prefer the 75. There is a 90 PS on at the moment as well, which would be very good. I like the 90 PS one. And there's a GTI version of it coming later on this year. Don't forget that one. I'm going to be testing that when it comes out too. GTI version would be very interesting. Sam Byrne, gotta go. Look at yourself, Sam. See you later. Love that phrase, Bob. Haptic feedback, deadly. Yeah, well, haptic feedback is vibration when you touch something. So when you touch it, it vibrates and tells you that you touched the thing. So you don't get haptic feedback in a car, which means you're looking and you're not sure you've touched the right thing, and it's a pain in the hole. Sausage and mash, onion gravy. Unfortunately, we had we cooked up. We went swimming this morning down the local swimming pool with the kids, and we cooked up sausages and rashers and things when we came back. So I can't have more sausages today. Ross Buggy, great name for the car show and all for that. There you go. You see, Amy wants to organise something like that. It'd be a bit of crack for us to do that as well. We'll organise a Sunday service car show. We'll all bring every kind of car that we're all driving. I'll bring whatever the press car is that week, or I'll bring something fancy. I'll ring up one of the big car companies and get something cool to bring onto the car show. And we meet up and we do a 2-hour live stream straight from that car show, just like I'm doing right here, but I'll do it at the car show for everybody here at the thing. And a bit of crack. I know the Moses will actually be there, but it'll still be a bit of crack for us all to do that at the car show. Sausage and mash on the gravy car show. July, because it's Beck and leaving cert on in June. Okay, so we do it in July, Elton. But you all got to come. So we're going to pick a central location. Somewhere like Athlone direction, Tullamore's kind of in the middle of the country where everybody from the west and the east and everyone else can come down to as well. I might contact the guys in the American Car Show, MAC, M-A-A-C, and get a loan of their field. And we'll do it in that thing. He's a lovely field out in Kilbeggan, which is right on the N9 or something. So it'd be a nice way to get in and out of the place. But you'd be a good crack. And a proper car show as well. You can bring anything you want, whatever car you got, man. Bob, what are your thoughts on buying a 3-year-old BMW touring diesel or petrol annual mileage driving? Depends on its treatment, Peter. If it's been treated well, it will treat you well. If it hasn't been treated well, hasn't been serviced properly, then you're going to be in trouble. If it's 3 years and it's been a company vehicle for somebody, you're probably in a good shape to have a good car there. But for touring diesel or petrol, depends on your mileage. If you do more than 30,000 miles per year, you definitely need to be in a diesel. If you're doing less, you definitely need to be looking at petrol or hybrid. But BMW Tourings are gorgeous. 3 Series is lovely. They look well. They handle well. Don't buy a manual one. Buy an automatic. Never buy a manual BMW. Their manual gearbox is crap. What power is the Up GTI? 110. It'll be 110 to 120. I think it might be 120. It'll be some crack, I have to say. If they don't change much, that's the key here, is not to change much in the VW Up. Just put a faster engine in it and tighter shocks and maybe broader tyres, and you've got it, you're done. What's your opinion on running cars on LPG? I think it's brilliant. You do lose a lot of boot space for the LPG tank because it goes into the boot, and there's a lot of pipe work and things that go around. A lot of taxi companies went that direction. I'd love to see more of it happening. Any other fuel source is good. I prefer people to be using electric cars because LPG, again, you're back in fossil fuels and it's more gas. It's cheaper, but there's still a lot of CO2 crap coming out of the back of it. Is PS the same as BHB? A bit confused. It is. It's like 1 or 2 in the difference. So 100 PS is about 102 brake horsepower. So there's a tiny little difference between the two. It's just a different way of measurement. There's also horsepower is different from brake horsepower. They're 2 different things as well. But generally speaking, we all talk, when we say 100 horsepower, we mean 100 PS or 100 horsepower, 100 brake horsepower. It's all the same. It's a kind of commonality number, and nobody really cares. It's metric versus old-fashioned version. That's it. There, Zachary said it. PS is metric horsepower, I believe, yeah. The manual M3 is crap compared to the automatic M3. I swear to you, Ross, I swear to you, get an M3 in manual, drive the shite out of it, then get the automatic version, drive the shite out of that. You'll have much more fun in the automatic version of it. The manual one is a chore with a heavy clutch to use the whole time if you want to live with a BMW. I always think at the point of, it's great to go out, manual car, I feel like such a man, it's great. You won't feel like such a man when you're stuck in traffic on the M50 in this car, trying to clutch first, clutch second, clutch first. It's a pain in the hole is all it is. Do you know the real world IS300H MPG? I don't off the top of my head, Jesh. I don't imagine it's going to be that wonderful. It just depends on how you drive it. MPG is a funny thing to measure. I can make a car get better than the actual MPG that they announce a car can do. I can generally make it do better because I'm very canny with that accelerator. I know exactly how the car should behave. I can get good MPG from most cars. Other people complain to me with their MPG in their car, and I've just driven the car, and they go, MPG is crap. And I go, MPG is alright. If it's MPG we're talking about, if you're getting over 40 miles per gallon, you're doing well in any car. If you're getting around 60 miles per gallon, it's even better. Honest John, good side for real world MPG. Yeah, but again, you're only relying on the way that person drives. So I'm always cautious by saying real world MPG. The way I drive achieves a certain MPG. The way someone else drives achieves a different MPG. It just depends on the conditions and the temperatures, and there's so much in it. But like, if you're driving a car and you're getting 40 to 50 MPG, you're doing very well. That's, if you're in around there, you're doing very well. Kia Soul. What about a Kia Soul? Nice car. I always liked the Kia Soul. It was a bit funny, strange suspension. What's 40 mpg in litres per 100 kilometres? It's about 6.3 or 6.4 litres per 100 kilometres, I think, Zachary. Elton John, do you hope to eventually employ a cameraman? My hope would be to bring you a proper actual car show to rival Top Gear right here on YouTube. That's no joke. They nearly had it with Drive. They fecked it up because YouTube were paying them a fortune. We're spending $8,000 a video. My God, who does that? Give me $8,000, I'll give you 12 videos for the whole bloody year. But my hope is to bring you a weekly car show, like a half an hour, proper consumer-based led car review show right here on YouTube. But to do that, I need probably $5,000 a month, $5,000 or $6,000 a month, just to achieve that, get near that, so I can employ cameraman, editors, upgrade some of the camera equipment, and then just marshal everything together. It's the hard part, is getting everybody together to do stuff. Honest John, based on owner's average feedback. Yeah, it is, Colin, but again, I'm still back to the same point. I'm not disagreeing with you at all. Honest John does really good feedback stuff, but it is based upon a sort of an average of how people use cars, or based upon how a particular person reviews their cars. How far down the line I think that show is sounds great. It's all down to money, Elton John. It's all down to money. I need either a big sponsor to come along and sponsor the whole show, or I need enough of you to go to patreon.com/the next gear and give money there. If that adds up, I could do it in under 2 months. We could start filming and have it running by the middle of June, and have proper, like, real deal car show, a real consumer led car show, which is what I'm really after. Is a proper, not a car company paying me to have their car on the show, which is what happens in Ireland normally. I can make a car show tomorrow if I rang the car company and said, listen, give me $4,000 and we'll make a car show, and we'll put your car at the beginning of it. What are you going to say about that car? They paid you to have it there. So there's an element of that, right? I was quick there. I was quick there on the block. I was quick. You only got one comment in. Hopefully that would happen very quickly. Just depends. Literally, it all depends on money. Bob, would you put a new car through a car wash in a garage? Do you clean the cars you get off the car? The cars turn up clean and I get them back dirty. I don't really wash cars. But look, most car washes are truck washes. The problem is that they use the brushes will wash a van or wash trucks, and the foam they use is very stringent. So doing it regularly, and you'll thin the paint out and you'll put a lot of scratches on it. I do hand wash and hand polish my own Seat Leon. Right, every time. It never goes near a car wash. Don't let it near a car wash. I hand wash it completely. How would you select topics or random cars? Topics for what? For the car show that I'm talking about? Well, I have a set of topics. I have a plan already listed out for a car show. So I have all of the topics and things done: reviews, twin tests, head-to-head stuff, 3-car stuff. And I'm not about a single video. I'm talking about building it into an actual show, creating a televisual type show that would go out on the internet, rather than look at a twin test, something like Autocar put out, where they just do one 10-minute segment on 2 cars. I'm talking about that. I'm talking about car challenges. I've already asked car companies like Tesla, and I've asked Irish Rail, can I race their train? That's like shouting into a bucket, talking to Irish Rail. But anyway, I've talked to Irish Rail about racing a train from Dublin to Cork and using an electric car to do it. So there's loads of plans done. Yes, there would be other journalists on the show to be announced, to be chosen. I haven't talked to anyone in particular yet, but I have a couple of people in mind who would be there as well. We're talking about three people, not necessarily 3 lads, but 3 people. But there's a relationship that has to be built first. You have to get on with people. You can't just present individual things. We'll be doing things together. So very similar format, I suppose, to Top Gear or 5th Gear, the Grand Tour, that sort of format, but just not that kind of budget, not millions. What cars have you owned throughout your life? Not a lot, to be honest with you, Adrian. I used to flip cars years ago, so I'd buy something, I'd flip it out within a few weeks. I'd get bored of it and just sell it on someone else at the same money, and then just recycle that money into something else. I've owned a good few cars, I just haven't really owned long term many cars. And in the last 7 or 8 years, I haven't bought a car at all. So I just do the press cars. Anyway, enough. That's 133 minutes, I think. Done well. I'm very delighted to have you all here. I'm really happy that you've all come along. I know it's down to like 40 people at the moment, but we've been going for 133 minutes. So there's a real hardy people there in the background who've stuck around for the whole lot. Really impressed with you lot. You're so cool. We'll be back next week as normal. My neighbours know exactly what I do, so a lot of neighbours around the place. Yeah, my neighbours do think I'm loaded. Some people think I'll just give car back, get a new one. I don't do bad language or profanity in my shows, ever. But anyway, I'm very happy to have you all here. You've been very, very good. Stick around. I have to go and make some dinner, for God's sake, and I'm going to try and make some lasagna. You can follow me on Snapchat. I'm at Bob Flavin on Snapchat, my own normal name. At The Next Gear on Twitter is probably the two best ways to get in touch with me. You can send me an email, bobflav@thenextgear.com if you want. I don't know how quick I'll come back to you because I get literally hundreds of emails a week, and a lot of them come from you guys, which is great. I do my best to respond to everybody's email, but it takes a long time. I am picking up a Honda Civic Tuesday for a test. We've got questions on that. I will. If I'm going to make whatever dinner I make, I'll make it on Snapchat. How about that? Follow me on Snapchat at Bob Flavin. If I'm making a dinner, I will make it on Snapchat. I'll clean up the bloody kitchen first. But tune in every day for a new video. I'm going to make a new video for tomorrow as well, so to make that yet. You can get to patreon.com/thenextgear, and you can submit some money to me there. We can do a car show if you want. And get in touch with me about doing the show, Classic Car Show, some Sunday service. We'll do one for everybody. Everybody in Ireland, come to one place, and we'll all do a 2-hour live stream straight from a car show, which would be a crack. I'd absolutely love to do that. That'd be a good crack. So if anyone wants to take organisation into that, eat and send me things while you're thinking about that. Send me stuff on The Next Gear or whatever. Until the next time, I will see you all on the far side. You're very good. See you. Bye.